रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणु परकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रासध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योम भास्करः वन्दे वृन्दावनचरं वल्लवी जनवल्लभं जयन्ती सम्भवन् धाम वैजयन्ती विभूषणम्। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम्। नमस्सदसे नमस्सभाये। With the abundant blessings of Paramatma Shriyapati, we have gathered in this very beautiful sacrosanct premises of SPBF in the Uttara Disha with the grace of Ubhaya Gurus of Sringeri Mahasannidhanam and Sannidhanam. 4 days of lectures have been arranged. Day 1 was yesterday. We had the opportunity to briefly discuss the quintessence of Adi Shankaracharya's largely agreed upon first composition called Kanakadhara Stotram or Kanakadhara Stuti. We discussed about how verse 1 to verse 8 he invoked the grace of Mahalakshmi in accordance with her being the Dharmapatni of Narayana. Those first 8 verses spoke about the beauty of her mercy-laden eyes that could be comparable to the petals of the lotus that blossoms after receiving the rays of the rising sun, or to the petals of the water lilies that rise upon receiving the nectarine rays of Chandra. Her eyes were also compared to that of the bumblebees that hover around the flowers of the Tamala Vriksham, seeking ambrosia or nectar that in turn will become honey, madhu. After receiving the grace of Mahalakshmi in the first 8 verses, Adi Shankara takes us through a list of shlokas till shloka number 19. From shloka number 9 to 19, where he does a stuti of her. Gir Devateti, Garudadhvaja Sundariti, Shakambariti, Shashishekara Vallabheti. He goes on. In the stotras, in the shlokas 20 and 21, he says, whoever recites these stotras that are composed will be blessed with Mahalakshmi's grace. What all we will get through Mahalakshmi, he gives a laundry list of it. Sampatkarani, Sakalendriya Nandanani, Samrajyadani, Vibhavani, Saroruhakshi. And he continues and finishes the Kanakadhara Stotram. Though the Stotram was composed for Jana Kalyana, Jana Hita, in the legend of Adi Shankara, it was composed to get rid of the Daridryam, the destitution that he saw in a very well-intentioned lady in front of him, supposedly on the day of a Dwadashi. So that is how Kanakadhara Stotram was born. So this is the Purva Charitram. Why am I giving this? Those who have attended will know that this is what they have listened to yesterday. Those of them who have not attended will know that this is what was discussed in detail yesterday. Today is going to be the day of the hammer. Hammer in Sanskritam is called as a mudgaram. So Adi Shankara deploys a different kind of a hammer. He says a hammer doesn't have to be used not only to hit the nail on its head, it can also be used to hit the head. So that head is delusional in moha. So he calls this composition as moha mudgaram, the hammer that is struck on kama, desire or delusion. So the composition is called moha mudgaram, but later people called it by the name Bhaja Govindam. So this is the topic of our discussion today. I realize that a lot of people who work in different areas have driven miles to attend this lecture. There are astikas who have come from other states and cities. There are a bunch of astikas who have come all the way from the neighboring country, though not the 51st state. So what pulls astikas on a weekday evening is the role that our acharyas have played in such compositions that have only grandeur in them. One such composition is Moha Mudgaram, popularly known as Bhaja Govindam. Yesterday was Adi Shankara's first composition. Large section of the scholars with scholastic achievements unanimously feel that this could have been his last composition. See, when we analyze Acharya's works, there could be some stotra prabandhas, some vyakhyana prabandhas. On Prasthanatraya, Adi Shankara has given a commentary on the Brahma Sutras called Shankara Bhashyam. He has given a commentary on the Gita, which is called Shankara's Gita Bhashyam. And then he has exclusively written a Bhashyam on the Dashopanishads. Isha kena kataprashna munda mandukya, Taitareya, Aitareya Brihadaranyaka Shvetashvatara. And he has also written a commentary on Chandogya. Chandogya is also a part of Samaveda, it's an important Upanishad. He has quoted multiple times all this in his commentaries, Prasthanatraya Bhashya. Amongst the other famed commentaries is one which is a very popular commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranama, which is Shankara's Bhashya on that. He has written independent philosophical works like Viveka Chudamani. So these are all the way we classify. In the Stotra Prabandhas, it is believed that Bhaja Govindam was supposedly the last Stotra Prabandha. First was discussed yesterday, last is discussed today. So between yesterday and today, we have completed 32 years of Acharya's life. First, we need to understand what does Govindam mean, because he uses two things here. He uses a verb and a noun. Govindam is the noun. Bhaja is the verb. He says, do bhajana of Govinda. So we need to understand who this Govinda is. In Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam, the 7th skanda is very famous for Nrisimhavataram and another charitram which is not largely spoken of in the 7th skanda. There is a Tripura Samharam in the 7th skanda. Largely it is Nrisimhavataram. Palli Odi Vanda Shirvanvayil Vorayiram Namam, says Alvar. Palli Odi Vanda Shirvanvayil. Palli. What does Palli mean? School. In the Tamil language, Palli La. That Palli means school. Palli Kudam. We say, right? Palli means school. Interestingly, in the last 500 plus years, especially in Kerala, Palli means mosque. ആരാണ് അവിടെ പള്ളി പോയി വന്നു? പള്ളി എന്റെ അർത്ഥം mosque. So Palli is a school for us now. Let's forget the other interpretation. Now, Palli is school. This Palli is also used as suffix in very many places. If you just change it little, it becomes Pelli. Telugu bhashalo Pelli ante vivaham, parinayam. But in Radio Mirchi, Miru Pelli chesara, that Pelli is not Telugu. Pure Telugu, it is Pelli la. Pelli chapdaniki Jihwagram kavali. Jihwagram is the end of the tongue should be filed very well in the workshop. That is called Jihwagram. So Palli, Pelli. Now Palli is also a suffix in many localities in Andhra and Telangana. Pochampalli, Maradapalli. So it can be used in very many ways. But Alvar says Palli Odi Vanda. Palli is Gurukulam. Prahlada had been to Gurukulam. Odi Vanda Shirvan Vayil. So Alvar says the first thing the parent should do, the mother or father, is if the child returns from school, you should ask, what did you learn? Because that is the primary purpose for which we send the child to school. So Hiranyakashipu did that job alone well. He asked his son, what did you learn? Palli Odi Vanda Shirvan Vayil. See, I cannot literally translate every word of Tamil. I have told you. Bhasha Geeti Prashasta Bhagavati Vachanat Rajavachopacharat. Only if you learn to appreciate all Bharatiya languages and take the necessary measures to learn some words of it, you will be able to appreciate Bharatiya literature. Being jingoistic about one's own Matrabhasha, that I won't learn some other Bhasha, may give you a few votes in Tamil Nadu. But it won't fetch you any brownie points in spirituality. Because if you have to have a wholesome understanding of Sanatana Dharma, you should learn languages. You don't have to become an expert. You don't have to become an Ashtavadhani or Shatavadhani the next day. But you should have some basic operational fluency in languages. You have to do that, given that you are living in a cosmopolitan, multinational society. If you were to live in the Agraharam of the 1800s, no problem. You have friends, people across different communities. So you should learn Bharatiya languages. Palli, Odi, Vanda, Shirvan Vayil. The boy had gone to Palli. Odi means you learn. Vanda, he came returned. So the boy did not go elsewhere. He returned home. Odi, Vanda, Shirvan. He is still a little boy. Vanda, Shirvan Vayil. Why is he a Shirvan? Because in Bharata Desha, there are some universities where they keep giving grants. So some of the boys will never want to complete their PhD at all. So it will keep on going for 10 to 11 years. But this boy returned while he was a boy. Odi Vanda Siruvan. He was not a big man. He came returned. Vanda Siruvan Vayil. That time the father was actually a good for nothing. But he did one useful thing. He asked, what did you learn? My dear boy, तुमने क्या पढ़ा? ఏంటి సార్ నరసింహావతారం ఆంధ్రాలో చేసినారు కదా శ్రీమానిని మందిర భక్త మందార త్రైలోక్య సమ్మోహనాకార ప్రేమావతార జగన్నాథ సేస్ పి సుశీల ఇన్ భక్త ప్రహ్లాద. Correct. Narasimhavataram is in Andhra. We have Ahobilam. Ahobile Garudashaila Madhye Kripavashat Kalpita Sannidhanam Lakshmya Samalingita Vamabhagam Lakshmi Nrisimham Sharanam Prapadye. See, Ahobila Kshetram, I am a Sishya of Sri Ahobila Matham. Ahobila Kshetram is famous for Narasimha. But that was an action replay. Originally, as per Purana, it happened as per Chandrabhaga Nadi, which is in Multan, Pakistan. That's what we get information from the Puranas. Narasimhavataram happened around that region. Moolasthanas, Multana. Till 1970s, there was a grand temple of Prahlada in Pakistan. Now don't ask me where it is. So, the father asked, "Tumne kya pada?" Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, Iti pumsa pita Vishnor bhaktische navalakshana. Navalakshana, my dear father, I learned that bhakti has 9 essential characteristic features. The father asked, what is it? Shravanam, what you are all doing. Listening. Right? Stephen Covey says in the 4th habit, listen first to understand and then be understood. In the 7 habits of highly effective people, the 4th is listen first to understand. Shravanam. கலந்து பேசின பேச்சரவம் கேட்டிலையோ பேய்ப்பெண்ணே. கேட்டிலையோ says ஆண்டாள். ஹரி என்ற பேரரவம் கேட்டிலையோ. Haven't you heard? Listening. Shravanam. What should we do after Shravanam? You are listening to the lecture today. Some parts of it you are finding interesting, some parts as usual boring. So, what will you do next? You have to go home. Ideally, you should find some Homo sapien in your vicinity and you should tell at least 4 or 5 excerpts of the lecture. That is what a lecture is meant for. I'm sure they won't listen. Don't bother, you tell. Why should you bother whether they listen or not? It's your duty to say. See, only when you repeat something that you have heard, you will remember. Be selfish. You have to recollect. So, Shravanam, listening, should be quickly followed with speaking. Kirtanam. Then what is the result? Smaranam. Third is Smaranam. You will remember Vishnoho Smaranam. 4th, towards in realizing that Bhagavan is important, in Tamil it is called Yellai Nilam. Yellai Nilam means Kashtha. What is the highest level of Bhagavad Bhakti? Bhagavata Bhakti is the highest level. So you will have to seek shelter or asylum under the feet of a very learned Bhagavatottama. What will you do next? Pada Sevanam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho Smaranam. Then towards the Bhagavatottama, Pada Sevanam. Then with the Bhagavatottama, you will go to the temple or the Sannidhi and speak praises of Bhagavan. Do we have the ability to praise him? Maybe we have, but we may not get it at that point in time. See, most of our consciousness will not be operative at that moment. Many people will say, ஏதோ சொல்லணும்னு வந்தேன், அது என்னமோ அது இது வரைக்கும் வந்துடுத்து, அதுக்கு மேலே வர மாட்டேங்குது, துப்பவா முடியும், இது வரைக்கும் வந்துடுத்துனா. So, that moment it won't come. So that is why our acharyas have made some ready-made stutis called Namavali. So we end up using that ready-made things, like how in Panchakacham we get ready-made. In Umbodh Kacham we get ready-made, because you know, if you are not used to draping yourself with a 9-yard sari regularly, you won't know which mudichu will come there. So what they have introduced is you have to just insert your legs. அதுவா 9 கஜம் மாதிரி இருக்கும். So we need ready-made products. Ready-made products are Namavali. So we do Archana with it, Archanam. Then towards the end of Archana, you pay your obeisances to the Ishtadevata with your palms folded together, Vandanam. Then you realize that to the Bhagavan whom you are praising, he is the Antaryami to the Bhagavatottama next to you. So you realize that you have to be subservient to Bhagavan and his devotees. So Dasyam. Towards the end of Dasyam, you realize that the friends whom you have been thinking as high school friends while you were a sophomore or you're a freshman may not be truly that helpful. So you start seeking and seeing friends in Bhagavan, which is Sakhyam. Then you finally realize that nobody but him can grant you moksham. So you do Atma Samarpanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishno Bhaktische Navalakshana. This is what Prahlada told his dear father Hiranyakashipu in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana. In that, the first Kriyapadam that we have to do is Bhaja. You have to keep on meditating. So in Bhaja Govindam, the verb is bhaja. Keep reciting, keep thinking, keep meditating, and retain that Bhagavan in your heart. Whom should we retain? Govindam. So there are 4 interpretations for the Nama. The first, the one who protected Bhumi, the earth on which we reside, the earth from which we bequeath a laundry list of minerals, which could be rare earth, we say, right? Rare earth. Where does rare earth come from? Though it may be rare, it has to come from earth. So rare earth or earth, it has to come from Bhumi. So Bhumi Rakshaka, the one who protects the earth, the one who rescued the earth, is called Govinda. First interpretation. So Varaha Murti is called Govinda. First, you know, in Tirumala Tirupati, the original Kshetrapalaka is Varaha. Towards the end of Swami Pushkarini. You know Swami Pushkarini? Not Subramanyam. Subramanyam Swami is different. This is only Swami. Swami Pushkarini. In Tamil it is called Koneri. Swami Pushkarini Tate Ramaya Ramamanaya Venkateshaya Mangalam. We say, right? Towards the end of that Swami Pushkarini, there will be a Bhuvaraha Sannidhi. He was the original Kshetrapalaka of Tirumala Tirupati. Vakula Malika used to propitiate that Bhagavan. Later, when Srinivasa settled in Tirumala, he acquired a few acres from Bhuvaraha. Bhuvaraha, being very magnanimous, innocent, he gave to Srinivasa, oblivious of the fact that this man will encroach the entire 7 hills. So now, people don't even know that Varaha Sannidhi is there. So Varaha is the Govinda. But the Govinda whom we know today is Srinivasa. That is why in Sahasranamam, Mahavaraho Govindaha. Look at the way it gets connected. So the first interpretation is the one who rescued Mother Earth from the deluge waters is called as Govinda. Pashituttu kadanda parmagatku pandurunal mashudambin nirvara manamila pandriyam Teshudaya Tevar Tiruvaranga Chelvanar Pesiripanagal Perkavum Perave, says Andal in her beautiful love prabandham. You know what is love? 143. Tell us, what is 143? Sir, we are all at that Viveka Chudamani level. You are talking all mundane things. What is 143? I love you. 4 aksharas, 3 aksharas, right? That is why Nachiyar Tirumazhi has 143 pasurams. 143 திருவாடிப்பூரத்து ஜகத்துதித்தாள் வாழியே திருப்பாவை 30 செப்பினாள் வாழியே பெரியாழ்வார் பெற்றெடுத்த பெண்பிள்ளாய் வாழியே பெரும்பூதூர் மாமுனிக்கு பின்னானாள் வாழியே 143 உரைத்தாள் வாழியே. 143. Put together, what will you get? 8. Ashtaksharam. Right, she spoke about Narayanane, which is Om iti vyahare tarmaiti vaschat Narayanaye tu parishtat Om ityekaksharam namaha iti dve akshare Narayanaye iti panchaksharani 1, 2, 5, 8. 1, 4, 3, 8. So she expressed her love to the 8 akshara Narayana through 1, 4, 3 pasurams. Correct. In that she says the one who rescued Mother Earth while she was enveloped with a layer of moss for having been submerged in the deluge waters by the tyrant Rakshasa called Hiranyaksha, He Varaha, I am in love with you. So the person whom she is in love with is the one who rescued Mother Earth. The one who rescued Mother Earth is called Govinda. So the first interpretation for Govinda is Varaha. Second, in Sri Rama Avataram, the one who donated Bhumi is also called Govinda. Where did he donate Bhumi? He didn't exactly donate, but he protected. Bhu is also classified as cow. So you know how, you know this charitram of Ahalya. Ahalya is believed to be a special production of Brahma. Blemishless, no mistakes. Generally, you're all a automobile industry hub here. It is often seen in news reports. This company has withdrawn 2 lakh cars because of some fault. Bhagavan doesn't do that generally with humans, but he can do it with us, but with not Ahalya, because Ahalya means blemishless. In the production of Brahma, she had no defectless production. So this Ahalya was so beautiful that Indra fell in love with her. Generally, Indra will do all these things. He fell in love with her. While he wanted to marry Ahalya, Brahma said, whoever goes around the world, you can do that now, right? People go on a bachelor trip, your road trip, so many trips you can go. Whoever goes around all the countries and returns, I will give them in marriage to this Ahalya. Indra sat on his four-tusked elephant called Airavata. He went. Meanwhile, Narada Maharishi came. This is not there in the Ramayana. It is found in a Purana. Narada Maharishi came and said, there is one man who has just finished his globe-trotting. Brahma asked, Kaun hai wo Narad? So that is when he said, Gautama Maharishi. They immediately summoned Gautama. Gautama, start immediately. In those days, there used to be telegram services. Generally, if somebody dies, they will send that message. If there is a telegram message, that means you will have to be sure somebody is dead in the family. So here, they said, start immediately. And Gautama wondered, nobody in my family is in that state. Where should I go? Then Brahma said, Ajao Gautam. So Gautam came without Gambhir. Now, so he said, hey Gautam, it seems you have gone around the world. Gautama said, that is news to me as well. I don't know. Narada explained. That is when Narada said, there is a Shastra Vakyam that in your cow shed, if you see a cow, a mother cow birthing her calf with its head out, at one point when the head of the calf exits the mother, you will see two heads, the head of the cow and the head of the calf. And you do a pradakshinam at that point, it is equivalent of going to all the tirthas in the world. In your backyard, you saw the mother cow birthing her calf and you incidentally went around her. Don't you know, Gautama, that Shastram says that is equivalent to visiting all the tirthas? He said, yes, so marry Ahalya. Gautama didn't expect this. So he married. Meanwhile, Indra came later. And then what is rest is history. Now, Bhumi and Go. Earlier I said Govindaha means the one who rescued earth. Now going around the earth is equivalent to going around the cow. So giving away cow as Dhanam will also make you Govinda. How did Rama become Govinda? In Ayodhya Kandam, in Srimad Ramayanam, Rama has been ordained to go to the forest for 14 years. Nava Panchacha Varshani, 9 plus 5, 14 years. Now Rama goes and informs Sita. Sita is initially, she insists that she has to come. Rama doesn't accept her proposal, but then after an altercation between the two in about 21 to 22 shlokas in Ayodhya Kanda, Rama finally says, Ajao Sita. So Sita and Rama have to leave Ayodhya. Before leaving Ayodhya, they will have to give whatever they possess as possessions, material wealth till then in charity. That time he observes a lot of cows in his backyard. So he gives away those cows to a Brahmana called Trijata. This Trijata is different from Trijata in Sundarakandam, who is Vibhishana's daughter. She is Lanka resident, Trijata is Uttar Pradesh resident. He is an Aruna Disanayaka. He is under Disanayaka. Who that Trijata. Trijata is under Yogi. So two different geographies. So to Trijata, the cows are given. When Rama gives the Bhumi Akin cows as Dhanam, he is also Govinda. So second interpretation. Third, Gavam Indraha, the one who has the ability to nurture and nourish the bovine, the cattle race with sheer unadulterated and uninterrupted love and protect them throughout is called Govindaha. In Krishna Avataram, he went beyond the cow, behind the cows and the calves. Karavaigal pin sendru kaanam serdu unbom. So he went behind the cows and calves. For the sake of the cows and calves that were being troubled and They underwent a lot of problems, distress because of the rising water levels caused by Indra's Samvartaka Megam. Krishna, in order to protect the Gokulam, the family of cows, lifted the Govardhanam. So, Govardhana was to protect the Gokulam. Since he protected the Gokulam, the bovine race, and he is the chief of them, Gavam Indraha Govindaha. So Krishna is the Govinda. So Varaha is Govinda, Rama is Govinda, Krishna is Govinda. Since he is the one who bestows eloquence as Hayagriva Murti, he is called Govindaha. So either it is Varaha or Rama or Krishna or Hayagriva, whichever form it is, Adi Shankara has celebrated and said, Bhaja, do bhajanam of that Govinda. So Bhaja Govindam is the meaning of this Prabandham. Do we give names based for a Prabandham based on the first two letters? I told you the original name of this Grantha is Mohamudgaram. There is no doubt. But why is it Bhaja Govindam? Because the first two words of this Prabandham is Bhaja Govindam. Do we have the paddhati of giving it that way? Yes. In the Tamil Prabandham, there is a Prabandham of Madhura Kaviyalvar which begins with the verse Kanninun Siruthambinan Kattunna Panniya Perumayan. This is the first line. What is the name of the Prabandham? Kanninun Siruthambu. There is a Prabandham of Tiruppanalvar which begins with Amalan Adipiran Adiyar Kemmai Atpaduttiya Vimalan. What is the name of the Prabandham? The first word, Amalan Adipiran. So either you give the name of the work based on the first two or first letter or on the meter. For example, if it is in the meter of Viruttam, Tiruchanda Viruttam. If it is an Andadi, like Antakshari, it will be Nanmudan Tiruvandadi, Mudal Tiruvandadi. So there is a Paddhati. So Bhaja Govindam essentially means the name, the first two letters of the Prabandham. How was this Prabandham born? Adi Shankara, along with his Sishyas, was walking in the Varanasi Kshetram. Varanasi is popularly known as Kashi. Kashi, Varanasya, these are all common names for that city. It is a very ancient city. It was built, burnt, rebuilt. It was once existing. Vishwanatha Kshetra was there. Krishna stays there as Bindu Madhava. Bindu Madhavana Ghattake Hoguve Tare Bindigeya Taraka Bindige Nanire Hoguve Tare Bindigeya Bindige Hodadare Vunne Kasu Tare Bindigeya. Bindu Madhava, Vishwanatha, Annapurne Vishalakshi, Annapurne Visalakshi. Annapurni, Visalakshi. Whose composition is this? Muthuswami Dikshita. What is it? What is the ragam? Sama. On which kshetram is it? This is what we believe, right? No, it is near Kshetram Ta Kulittalai in Tiruvarur, this Prabandham. Then he wrote a Chaturdasha Ragamalika, Shri Vishwanatham Bhajeham Chaturdasha Bhuvana Ruparagamalika Bharana Dharanam Karanam Shri. This is a Ragamalika in 14 ragas, a masterpiece by Muthuswami Dikshita on Vishwanatha. Vishwanatha, Annapurani, Vishalakshi, Bindu Madhava. This city existed. But when Krishna was challenged by a waste, useless king called as Paundraka Vasudeva, he belonged to the nation called Pundra. Have you heard of this in Bhagavatam? This is not some concert. You are not keep on listening. You have to keep on observing your faces. Who came when, who did what. So, have you heard of Paundraka? There is a Desham called Pundra Desham. Since he belonged to Pundra, he was called Paundraka. He renamed himself. We don't know what his original name was. He renamed himself as Vasudeva. And in a press conference, he said, I am the original Vasudeva. Then people asked, Jo Dwarka mein baithe hain, wo kaun che? So he said, that is duplicate. Now people will ask, right, that whom you call duplicate has 4 hands, because Krishna after Kamsavadham had 4 hands. So he had Shankha Chakram ready-made. So what this man did was, he went to a close-by workshop and created 2 extra hands with Fevicol. He fitted at the back, brought one CD, one small motor, and it used to go as Chakram. And some Shankam he got from a small stall in Mahabalipuram and placed it here and called it Panchajanyam. And then he said, I am Vasudeva. He held that board. These prisoners will have on a photo for I am Vasudeva. So since he belonged to Pundradesha, he was called Poundraka. This Poundraka Vasudeva had a friend in Kashi. His friend was in Kashi. When he came to meet his friend, I'll go to Bhaja Govindam, don't worry. So, when he came and met his friend in Kashi, his Kashi friend was as useless as him. That from Kashi he sent a message to Krishna stating that relinquish your name as Vasudeva. You are not Vasudeva, I am Vasudeva. That is when Krishna released his chakram, and that chakram came like that long missile. What is that long shot missile? From Dwaraka it travelled 1350 kilometers, reached Kashi, hit the target, Operation Sindhu. So it hit its target and this man was dead. Sudarshana did not stop. With the sparks that emanated from Sudarshana, he burnt the entire Kashi. How did that happen? Because that's a deep charitram. If you listen to my Bhagavatam, I would have told he had a son who did a Vyabhichara Yagam. Vyabhichara Yagam is occult, black magic. So there was a Kritya who was formed who wanted to kill Krishna, but Sudarshana changed the mind of, he did one therapy to that Kritya, and Kritya's mind changed, and that started attacking Kashi Naresha and burnt Kashi. So Kashi was burnt around 3100 BCE. Then it was rebuilt, Harapura Ploshakarana. So in the city that was built, preserved, burned and rebuilt, in that Kashi Kshetram called Varanasi, Adi Shankara was walking with his Sishyas. There he noticed the local teacher there teaching Vyakaranam. Dhatu Patam it is called. So in Sanatana Dharma, we believe that we should not use books at all. That is our belief. We have never traditionally used manuscripts as well. Everything was here. We didn't have to do Sudoku later. So we had given a lot of work to our brain so we could remember. So we have to just repeat. In Tamil, in Divya Prabandham especially, it is called Thiruvai Solradu. It is called Thiruvai. You have to do Sandai. We call it Sandai. In Vedam, if the teacher says a line, the Sishya has to repeat it twice. In Tamil Divya Prabandham, if the Acharya says one line, you have to repeat it thrice. For Sanskritam 2, Prabandham 3. Because technically it was believed Tamil is tougher than Sanskritam. That is why you have to repeat it thrice. So this Acharya was teaching Dhatu Patam, Paniniya Vyakaranam. Paniniya Vyakaranam has sutras, aphorisms or postulates which are roughly over 4500 plus sutras grouped into 8 chapters called Ashta Adhyayam. So it's called Ashtadhyayi. So the teacher will tell a sutra, the students have to repeat. So the teacher, who was slightly old, at a platform he was seated and reciting these postulates of the grammatical patterns given by Panini, and the students had to repeat, the little ones had to repeat. At that point in time, there are 2 interpretations. The teacher had one small jug. That jug, by mistake, which was filled with water, whenever the teacher wanted, he could drink. So that started rolling down the steps. So this inspired one rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his gown, and Jill came tumbling after. Along with Jill, the Kodam also has to tumble. So this jug of water started tumbling down the steps. Tuk, 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 tuk. Because when it has water, there will be a certain sound. Tuk, 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 tuk. it started creating that noise. What was expected of a sincere, true, devoted student was to go pick that jug up, fetch new waters and give it to the Acharya. But these students were least bothered about that and just mechanically continued reciting those two Dhatu Patams. Looking at the scene in front of him, the Acharya thought, however great knowledge is, if it doesn't serve the purpose of being devoted to one's Guru, that knowledge will remain a useless tinsel. I am borrowing the words of Rajaji in his speech prior to Bhaja Govindam. It will remain a useless tinsel. That knowledge which doesn't serve the Acharya will remain a useless tinsel. What knowledge? The knowledge that is least bothered about the Dukrin Karane Bhaja Govindam. This is one interpretation. The second interpretation is when Mahadeva dances, it is called Tandavam. There are two styles in Natya Shastra. One is called Lasyam. The second is called Tandavam. Each one has its own mood. When Shiva does that dance, largely believed to be a cosmic dance, there is a kshetram exclusively for that Natyam called Chidambaram. Kalai Tuki Nimjadun Devame Pittayanjalum Avan Peyanjalum Chittamelam Avan Pal Selvudamma Anandanatana Prakasham Chit Sadhesham Idad Padam Tukiyadum Natarajanadi Panive Adi Kundaranda Vedikai Kanakan Ahiram Vendamo. So there are various compositions that describe Mahadeva's Natyam. When he dances, he needs one rhythm, right? In a typical kacheri, you need one for the melody, one for the rhythm. That is why we say two things are important for Sangeetam. Shruti Mata, Laya Pita. We need both. So that is why we generally have a string instrument. Either you have to play or pull. Veena is a pull string. You pull. Whereas the other one use bow, which is violin. So you need one for that melody. The other one for percussion. It could either be mridangam or tawil. All this is that. Now when Shiva dances, he needs typically a percussion, because for Natyam very important is talam, that rhythm. The best in human life that we can learn from all these devatas is never trust anybody else. You should be self-reliant, right? So Shiva has one ready-made person who will play the mridangam. He is Nandi. Nandi is the one who generally plays the mridangam, but Nandi is on demand in many places. So if Nandi goes, what will Shiva do? He himself will play his rhythm. So he has one ready-made dhamaru called Udukkai. So he will have that and he will dance. So he is his own percussion master. He will play the dhamaru and he will dance. He doesn't have to depend on somebody else. This dhamaru will have two strings attached. Towards the end of it will be small stone pebbles. When Shiva dances, that will also oscillate like the pendulum. Since he does the cosmic dance, when it oscillates, it goes, hits the energy quantum packets. See, in quantum physics, very important, you have to study the Schrodinger's equation. So that is how you derive the energy and then you say how it spreads. This is what we learn in quantum. So if it has to hit the packets of energy, this has to oscillate. As it oscillates, there is a thin audio that is decipherable to the rishis. See, you have to follow me continuously. See, music you can repeat lines. Here I don't know what I have spoken in the previous line. You have to follow me. When it hits and oscillates, a thin audio that emanates is decipherable and discernible to the ears of the rishis. Such rishis have recorded the crude form of that music. Aivuno, Rilike, Jabakatadas, Ayaunch. These are all the sounds. Ayaunch, Jabakatadas, Rilike, these are all the crude sounds. When these crude sounds are processed, see, we all use petrol. Petrol doesn't come directly from earth as petrol. It will come as crude oil. Then you keep refining it. Then you get at one stage you get diesel. Then in a further state you get petrol. That's how you get. Even in coconut oil they say that triple refined coconut oil. Parachute use karo. So it is triple refined. So you have to keep refining. So this ayaunch, japakatadas, all these crude sounds that was deciphered by the rishis were processed and refined and finally they came up with vowels and consonants called a, e. So these letters of the Sanskrita alphabet have come from the crude sound of Shiva's dance. That Shiva's dance, which gives this rise to the Sanskrita alphabet, is called Dukrinkaranam. It is called Dukrinkaranam. So Dukrinkaranam is the basis for knowledge, because for us, if we derive knowledge from Upanishads, from Vishnu Sahasranama, from Brahma Sutras, they all constitute these aksharas. Where do these aksharas come from? Shiva's dance. What is Shiva's dance? Dukrinkaranam. But this Dukrinkaranam, which gives rise to knowledge, when it doesn't mature into devotion to the Acharya, that knowledge will not serve any purpose. So the second interpretation is Nahi rakshati Dukrinkarane. This knowledge alone will not suffice. Then the student will ask, what I am learning from my guru, if that knowledge is not helpful, what other knowledge will be helpful? Then he says, Nahi rakshati Dukrinkarane. Then what will be helpful? Bhaja Govindam. Then the student is not very clear. Then Acharya is vexed. He says, Mudhamate, oh you fool, Bhaja Govindam. Then this knowledge only if it is complemented with the devotion to the Guru. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So 50 minutes. I have explained what is Bhaja, what are the four interpretations to Govindam, what is the context in which Acharya has sung, and what are the two versions why Dukrinkaranam is done. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja, Mudhamate. See, in a concert, many musicians will end up using their hand gestures. That's their style. Some may even do Mangalya Dharanam. If you are not sure of the aksharam, so Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. In the hand gestures, what may happen is we will do this. But you should be very careful when you sing this. Govindam Bhaja. You should not show your hand after that. Mudhamate. You can do it this way. See, you can do that if you are sure that the person doesn't know Sanskritam. Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Then Acharya says, Samprapte Sannihite Kale. Sannihita Kalam means when the destined time for the departure of the Jivatma comes from the body. Everybody will die here. That is the one thing that connects all of us here. Right? We don't know when, but one thing is sure, one day the Atma has to leave the body, we don't know when. That is why I am happily seated here. Right? If Bhagavan gives the date of death clearly, all our focus will be on that day. Thank God, uncertainty is the certainty of life, but we don't know when that uncertainty will dawn upon us. Samprate sannihite kale. Sannihita kalam means when the destined time for the Atma to leave the body comes. Samprate sannihite kale. Naturally, normally dying person. Forget natural disasters or sudden deaths. Normally dying person, however enlightened the person was throughout his or her life, on the deathbed they will feel the fear. Don't assume that we can escape that fear, because the last few scenes that flash before the eyes of the dying person is very fearful, says Shastra. Those parents or grandparents or siblings or people in our kith and kin whom we have known to be the repository of all valor and prowess and have been recipient to such esoteric knowledge throughout their life, when they are on the deathbed, you can see the fear in their eyes. Even to such people it will come. Just because I have given 3,500 plus discourses, don't think I will be permanent. See, all the cinematic things won't happen. Your eyes will have that fear. So samprapte, when that comes, Acharya says that is destined to come. Samprapte, that destined time when the Atma has to leave the body. Sannihite kale, that time. Hey mudhamate, you have to prefix mudhamate for every line. Hey mudhamate, that time, whatever so-called knowledge you have derived from Mimamsa, Nyaya Shastram, quantum chemistry, mass transfer operations, thermodynamics, colonial literature, nothing will help. See, if you are in that fear of Kala, Yama, that time will roses all the way with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. The house roofs seem to heave and sway with shirt spires flame, such flags they had a year ago on this very day. All this will not come to help. So whatever knowledge of the material world and the spiritual world that we have acquired will not come to our rescue to eradicate the fear of death. Samprapte sannihite kale, that time, nahi, no, rakshati dukkrinkaranam, that knowledge will not be helpful. Then the student will ask, right, on the deathbed, when I am in the state of fear, if this knowledge is not going to come to my rescue, what will come? First line, Bhaja Govindam. That is why you have to do Bhaja Govindam. Only Govinda, Narayana will come to your rescue. Then the next question, what should we do for that? Alvar says, see, I told you it will be multilingual. Alvar says, ஏய்ப்பு என்னை வந்து நலியும் போது அங்கு ஏதும் நான் உன்னை நினைக்க மாட்டேன். ஏய்ப்பு means some disease. என்னை வந்து, Alvar says, when I am infested with diseases, ஏய்ப்பு வந்து என்னை நலியும் போது, that time my concentration will be what drug will help me get rid of this pain. It won't be on Bhagavan. That time, that time, ஏதும் நான் உன்னை நினைக்க மாட்டேன். Hey Bhagavan, that time when I am in distress and suffering from diseases, I won't think of you. Thereby, now itself I am telling you, அப்போதைக்கு இப்போதே சொல்லி வைத்தேன். For that minute, I am going to tell you now itself, because I have to think of you. But when I am suffering, I won't be able to think. So now I am thinking of you. Whatever I am thinking of you now and telling you now, that time you come in front of my eyes. அப்போதைக்கு இப்போதே சொல்லி வைத்தேன். அரங்கத்து அரவணை பள்ளியானே. Hey Ranganatha, on the serpent couch of Adisesha in Srirangam, I am now telling you itself, That time when I'm unable to even get flashes of your beauty that is blemishless in all shapes, treat this prayer of mine then. Acharya says, Sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karade. So the first shloka is this. Next, I thought how to explain Bhaja Govindam, because Bhaja Govindam is a very, very philosophical composition. Just because one person is a good speaker doesn't mean you will get the essence of it. You need a very mature mind. But there is one commentary for the Bhaja Govinda by a very learned Acharya called Swayam Prakasha Swami. He has given one Mangala Shloka to his commentary. Sarvadharam Anadharam Sargastityanta Karinam Sarvajnam Karunamurtim Shri Ramam Sharanam Bhaje. While writing a very elaborate commentary to Bhaja Govindam, at the opening he pays his obeisances to Rama. So I got clue that I will explain the entire Bhaja Govindam using Ramayana. It will become easy. 1. When I told you that Adi Shankara sang this composition, he did not sing the entire composition, because today if you go, you will check Bhaja Govindam has 31 shlokas. But Adi Shankara is said to have composed only 12. So it is called Dvadasha Manjarika. Then his students were so inspired, they said, composition. They are all from Kerala. So they said, what a great composition. So then he said, each one composed one. So each student composed one, and there emerged 14 shlokas after that. So 12 Acharya composed, Dvadasha Manjarika. Chaturdasha Manjarika his students composed. 12 plus 14, 26. Then 5 other shlokas were added in the due course of time, and today you have 31 shlokas. Sir, for 21 shlokas yesterday you took 2 hours and 32 minutes. Today it is going to be 31. Will you let us go home? I will do that. Why? Paramacharya of Srikanchi advised the great M.S. Subbalakshmi and chose 10 verses from Bhaja Govindam to be sung. So I am going to explain only those 10 verses. You are relieved now? But the order will be different. Artham anartham bhavaganityam nasti tata sukhalesha satyam putradapi dhana bhaja bhitihi sarvatresha vihitariti Bhaja Govindam Govindam bhaja mudhamate samprate nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Artham in Sanskritam, there are 2 primary meanings to it. Both are deployed. Artham means wealth. Artham means wealth. Any form of wealth. It doesn't have to be cash. It could be even Bitcoin. It could be anything. Any form of wealth is called Artham. That is why in the Chaturvida Purusharthas we say Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Aram, Porul, Inbam, Veedu. That is why Valluvar has sung on the first 3. Arathu Paul, Porutpal, Kamathu Paul. Here Paul doesn't mean milk. Okay. Now, Artham means wealth. Artham also means meaning. Iska arth kya hai? We ask, right? Meaning. Acharya uses this as a beautiful figure of speech. In Tamil it is very popular, called sledai. He says Artham Anartham. Artham, the first artham means wealth. Anartham is meaningless. You are able to understand. So it is not meaningless. Artham, anartham. Artham in the first meaning is wealth. Anartham is not non-wealth. It is meaningless. Artham, anartham. Wealth is meaningless. Bhavaya nityam. Keep thinking of this every day, he says. Bhavaya nityam. Whatever we perceive as wealth. See, we are all not sannyasis. All of us, most of us are grihasthas or to be grihasthas. So after reading this, there is no instant where we will not check if the salary has come or not. We will check it. So let's be practical. Artham, anartham, what he says, what we have to interpret is, don't be mad after that. See, interpretation is, it should not lead us to become extremely attached people. Artham, anartham. Bhavaya nityam. It is not one day you have to think of this. Nityam you have to keep thinking of this. Bhavaya nityam. Nasti tataha sukhaleshaha satyam. It will not give you even an iota of happiness. We have to sit and think for some time. Every interview of mine with some media, some questions I keep asking this repeatedly. But nowadays I've started taking printout of most of the answers to those questions and I give it to them beforehand. Don't ask me the same questions. Standard question they will ask. You studied engineering and you've come through philosophy. After engineering, how did you take up philosophy? I said, engineering made me a philosopher. Right. So the common question, see, the belief is if you have studied engineering, you have done something over and above that, why would you want to come to this life? There are two ways to see it. One, it should be stable. Second, something that is also giving me peace. Artham, anartham, bhavaya nityam. If the work that you do doesn't give you peace, then what purpose does it serve? Nasti tataha sukha leshaha. He doesn't say full happiness, even an iota of happiness if it doesn't give. Then you are wasting your time. Nasti tata sukha leshaha satyam. Forget the work. Now he gives a beautiful example. Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. If you chase wealth and material wealth and power, it may lead you to that extent where you start doubting your own children. Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. How do people write wills? They will say, till I live, this property will be mine. Why will they say that? Because there is some distrust in the children. That is what he says. Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. You will start doubting an offspring that has sprung from your own body. Your child is a version of you. You are first edition, that is second edition. The problem will come if the second edition carries the mistakes of the first. The mistakes should be corrected in the second. So the child, which is an offshoot or offspring of us, makes us doubt their intent. Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi. You will start doubting your own sons and daughters. Sarva traisha vihita ritihi. Let us see what comes after that. What is the example? Dasharatha was a great Chakravarti. We call him Dasharatha Chakravarti. Incidentally, when Rajaji wrote his Ramayanam, he called Ramayanam in the Tamil language, explaining Rama as Chakravarti Thirumagan. So Dasharatha is the Chakravarti, a monarch. Ikshvakunam iyam bhumihi sashaila vanakanana. All the hills that you see, the flora and the fauna that you see around adding beauty to this, all this belongs to me. Ikshvakunam iyam bhumihi sashaila vanakanana. That was Dasharatha. the one who fought the Rakshasas in a city called Bhaja and was able to send them away from the battlefield, what did he do? One fine day, he thought he will make his eldest son Rama the heir apparent, Yuvaraja. He calls Sumantra, his most trusted minister cum charioteer. So the minister cum charioteer called Sumantra comes, and through Sumantra he summons Rama. To them he informs that I have decided that Rama should be made the Yuvaraja, the heir apparent. Sumantra asked, sure, we'll call the event management company. We'll make all the arrangements. Just give us time of 6 months. Dasharatha said, what 6 months? Today is Chaitra Punarvasu, tomorrow is the coronation. Chaitra Pushya Yoga I have decided. See, if it is a good function in the family, wouldn't the parents want the entire family to get together? Bharata and Shatrughna, the two brothers, very good sons, obedient sons, were in Kekaya Desha, which is Afghanistan region. It will take 7 days for them to come in those days. How do we know 7 days? Because when Dasharatha passes away, the messengers take 7 days to reach. So it will take 7 days. He could have waited. He could have waited for, after Chaitra Pushya, he could have done it in Vaikasi Pushya, Vaishakha Pushya he could have done. 1 month, what will happen? Then Sumantra asks, Bharata has to come. Let's wait. Because Dasharatha was not on the deathbed. He was suffering from good health. So, he could have waited for 1 month. That time when they asked, why Bharata, you are not waiting for Bharata, you know what Dasharatha says? Kintu chittam manushyanam anityamiti me matam. Human mind is very unreliable, Sumantra. So in the absence of Bharata, I want Rama's Pattabhishekam to happen, because the father doubted that if Bharata was here, he may aid his mother Kaikeyi and stop the coronation. Thereby the apple to his eye, who was Rama, will not become the heir apparent. So the love for his son, acquiring the kingdom, masked his true nature of doubting his own son called Bharata. Putra dapi dhana bhajam bhiti sarvatraisha vihitariti bhaja govindam bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudhamate. Third verse. Mudhajahi dhanagama trishnam mudhajahi dhanagama trishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrushnam yallabhase nija karmopatam yallabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chitam bhaja govindam govindam bhaja mudhamate mudhajahi dhana agama trishna. In the first line he says leave something. In the second line he says create something. First line, mudha, he keeps using this word. We should be happy that he has at least called us by that name. Mudha. Mudha jahihi dhana agama trishnam. Dhana agama. After creating wealth, what should we do? Create more wealth. So this desire to always acquire more wealth, Acharya says, leave it. It is very nice to say and nice to listen. How easy is it to practice? He just says, he is a sannyasi. He knows how to handle. Mudha jahihi dhana agama trishna. Trishna means thirst. Abandon the thirst. Oh, you fool! Sir, is he so harsh? No, you can say it. Oh, you fool. I've been soft, right? Mudha. So, in some houses, they'll say, எதுக்கு இப்படி கத்துற? சரி, அசடுத்தனமா பண்ணாதீங்க. She has still up, admonished him, but she has said it in a very nice way. அசடுத்தனமா பண்ணாதீங்கன்னா அவன் தான் அசடு. He doesn't realize that. Mudha. Trishnam. He says, Mudha Trishnam, the thirst. Jahihi dhana agama. Leave that, abandon that desire to create wealth and more wealth. So you have to leave that. Then the student will ask, sir, you have asked us to leave. What should we do? Kuru sadbuddhim manasivi trishnam. Have the thirst to create the right knowledge in you and abandon the thirst to acquire wealth and more wealth. So one he says abandon. Mudha jahihi dhana agama trishnam. Then he says create. Kuru sadbuddhim manasivi trishnam. Yellabhase nija karmopatam. Why? He says when you do this on one side, the other side you will be bearing the brunt of your own karma. Just because you are listening to Bhaja Govindam, it doesn't mean tomorrow all your worries will go away. If that is your intent to come for a lecture, I'm really sorry, that won't help you. Lectures are never meant. See, karma will always haunt us, however good we are. But then why do we do this? To realize that karma will haunt us and we will have to continue doing our karma. We have to listen to this. See, if somebody says, listen to this lecture, 7 दिन आप सुनेंगे, तो life पूरा बदल जाएगा. Nothing will बदल जाएगा. See, that is why for traditional upanyasams or pravachanam, we will vary between 500 and 1500. Imagine I turn one day into another person. I say, do this particular ritual. This prayaschittam, 108 blouses you give. Next day you see your life will change. I would have had one entire empire in India. I will be having why am I a discourse person? Because I have to tell the truth, which is bitter. The bitter thing is, you cannot escape your karma. Please underline that. If you are a true Sanatani, you will understand the essence of dharma. You cannot escape your karma. Then why do we do it? See, when we listen to Bhagavatam or Ramayanam, even if we are undergoing a lot of distress in our professional and personal front, when we listen for those few minutes, Krishna and Rama come as flashes in our front eyes. When the front of our eyes, when they come, momentarily we forget the distress. That is why we listen. And as you head back home, you will keep ruminating like the animal. You asabodradun yulva Tamil. You keep on thinking. That will remove that pain that you are undergoing. The problem will not go. The pain will go. That is what he says. Yellabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chitam Bhaja Govindam. Now, who is the best example for this? The best example is Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi was the biological mother to Bharata. She had birthed him as a mother who has nourished and nurtured and birthed such a son. Bharataya param namostu tasmai pratamodaharanaya bhaktibhajam yadupagnyamasheshatah pritivyam pratito raghava paduka prabhavaha. That Bharata, who is the repository of all auspicious attributes. Rama later says in Yuddhakanda, na sarve bhratarastata bhavanti bharatopamaha. Which brother in this world can match the demeanor of my dear brother Bharata? Kamban in the Ramayanam says, Ayiram Ramar Ninkal Avaro Terinamma. Looking at your greatness, Bharata, I now doubt even if 1,000 Ramas were put together and smelted together, they cannot match the greatness of one Bharata. If that Bharata's greatness was truly deciphered by Kaikeyi, she would have not even attempted to ask those boons. Because she, as an independent woman, independent of her son's thoughts, mutually exclusive with him, was completely behind wealth and not acquiring knowledge. That is why she ended up asking. So Acharya must have had Kaikeyi in his mind while he wrote this particular shloka. Mudha jahihi dhanagama krishnam kuru sadbuddhim manasi trishnam yellabhase nija karmopatam vitam tena vinodaya chetam Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So, he says two things in the shloka. Mudha Jahihi Dhana Agama Trishna. Trishna means thirst. He says abandon the thirst to acquire wealth and more wealth and develop the thirst to acquiring knowledge. What is knowledge? Krishna is knowledge. So one must have the thirst to acquire Krishna as his knowledge. Thirst is Trishna. Whom should we acquire? Krishna. In the Alvars, there was one Alvar called Nam Alvar. Nam Alvar is called Krishna Trishna Tattvam. His thirst was only for Krishna. Rishim Jushamahe Krishna Trishna Tattvamivothitam Sahasra Shakham Yodrakshim Dravidim Brahma Samhitam. That Nammalvar had only one thirst. For wealth? No. More wealth? No. Only for Krishna. So his thirst was only for Krishna. So Acharya says, leave this thirst and acquire the thirst for Krishna. Mudha Jahihi Dhanagama Krishna. Fourth verse. Yavadvito parjana saktaha savanija parivaro rataha paschat jivati jajarade paschat jivati jajarade Matam kopina prichatige Vatam kopina prichatige Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate Yavad Vitto Parjana Saktaha. When one loses the ability and the energy to earn anymore, yavad vitto parjana saktaha stavanija parivaro raktaha. That moment the family will also start slowly abandoning and disrespecting him. Yeah. He is working, the man or the woman is working, they are functional, they help. People will respect. He's the one who does everything for us. We are really fortunate to have him in our lives. But when that person loses the ability to do anything more in terms of wealth because of his aging body, then slowly the parivaram will show different signs of disrespecting him. Now, a couple of you may come towards the end of my lecture and say, Sir, I'm sure you have mistaken. We have never done that. If you have not done that, you are all great Jivan Muktas. But Acharya says it from his observation of the society. As simple as that. Yavadvitto parjana saktaha. Till that man he earns respect. When his ability to earn anymore stops, Stavanija parivaro, the family, raktaha, they will abandon him. Pascha jivati jarjaradehe, pascha jivati jarjaradehe, jarjaradehe. When he shows signs of diseases and slow moving of his body, pascha jivati jarjaradehe, Vartam kopina prichati gehe. Nobody will even ask him to be a part of the family conversation. உங்களுக்கு எதுக்கு இதெல்லாம்? உட்காருங்கோ, தேவையில்லாதெல்லாம் கேட்காதீங்க. வார்த்தா கோபின பிரிச்சதி கேஹே. பிரிச்சதி கேஹே. Gehe is house. Prichati. They will not even ask him to be a part of the family conversation. What an observation a sannyasi less than the age of 32 has had about the society. It is not that he lived in a family for a long time. He was a sannyasi. But he just copies the family scene and presents that as a shloka. Yavadvitto pajjana saktaha tavan nija parivaro raktaha paschat jivati jajjara dehe vartam kopina prichati gehe. Is there an example to it in the Ramayana? Dasharatha, earlier verse, he doubted his own son. First mistake. Previously, he had done another mistake. He didn't give an expiry date to those 2 boons. See, for Kaikeyi, he should have said, this is valid before 15th of August 2025. Your return policy begins. He forgot. He didn't give that condition. Later, it haunts him. So, that was a mistake. Doubting his own dear, obedient, sincere, quality-filled son called Bharata was the next mistake. Third was again he made a mistake. This man, from Dasharatha we have a lot of lessons. His wife Kaikeyi has gone to Kopa Bhavanam. In Ayodhya Kandam, she goes into the room of anger. In those days, big palaces, one room for one emotion. If you are happy, Sandoshama irukka inga poidum. Upanyasam kekanuma andha room poidum. Next Upanyasam room is Dukkham room. Right. Some may get one emotion after Upanyasam. So, there was a bhavanam called Kopa Bhavanam. If you are angry, you have to go to that room. He went and wanted to convey the news of Rama's coronation. So, he asked the Sairandrika Stris, the hairdressers, kahan hai Kaikeyi? वो कोप भवन में है, जाइए उधर. So he, why कोप भवन? Yesterday also we went to Joy Lucas. Why is she angry? क्या हुआ? So he goes to Kopa Bhavan. There he doesn't find her at all. Kaikeyi, Kaikeyi. He shouts. She's not replying. Then he spots Kaikeyi on the floor. What was Kaikeyi doing? Tulsidas says in Ramcharitmanas that she was lying like a future widow. She was lying on the ground. Then Dasharatha sits and says, hey Kaikeyi, whatever you want I will do. तुम्हें पता है ना, सिर्फ मैसेज कर दो, जो भी चाहिए मैं लाता हूँ. He doesn't wake up. She doesn't get up. Dasharatha keeps repeating the same line, whatever you desire I will do it, Kaikeyi. She doesn't. You know what he says? I now promise in the name of Rama, I will do what you want. Get up. She got up, he lay. Flat. So, then she has those 2 boons mercilessly. In The Merchant of Venice, there is a character called the Shylock. So there's a line, I ask for a pound of flesh, closest to the heart, without a drop of blood. That's a line from Merchant of Venice. And that's when there's a beautiful poem by Shakespeare called The Quality of Mercy. The quality of mercy that droppeth from the heaven with a scepter. It's a beautiful poem of Shakespeare. He talks about daya. Mercy means daya, anukampa. Now Dasharatha, after having granted those boons because he was coaxed to, he falls at her feet and says, Kaikeyi, the monarch who ruled the hills, the flora and the fauna that belonged to him, he fought the demons in Vaijayanta, today falls at her feet stating that take your boons back. She doesn't listen. She doesn't take him into confidence and discuss anything with him because his ability to be strong has stopped. Yavad vitto parjana saktaha tavan nija parivaro raktaha. The family has deserted him. Now he has shown signs of old age. What was that old age? See, the beauty is, Dasharatha is said to have ruled for 60,000 years. ஐயிரண்டு ஆயிரத்து ஆறு தாங்கினேன், says Kamban. I 5, இரண்டு 2, ஐயிரண்டு 10, ஆயிரம் 10 into 1000 10,000, ஆறு multiplied 60,000, ஐயிரண்டு ஆயிரத்து ஆறு தாங்கினேன், 60,000 years. Where does this come in the Valmiki Ramayana? When Rama is 12 years of age and the father is extremely worried, concerned, मेरे बच्चे का क्यों शादी नहीं हुआ? He is worried in the Ramayana. Darakriyam prati, Dasharatha was worried. My son is 12 years of age. No alliance has come. In the Ramayana, that is the verse. That time Vishwamitra enters the court and says, send your son on a university exchange program. हमारे वन में बहुत राक्षस लोग हैं, उनके साथ युद्ध करने के लिए तेरा ही पुत्र काबिल है, भेज दो अपने सुपुत्र राम को. Dasharatha starts crying. You know all that what happened. You've heard my Ramayana. If you haven't heard, it is there in YouTube. So after this conversation, Dasharatha says, after 60,000 years, I've had this son. After 60,000 years, I've had this son. He is now 12. I told you Rama was 12. Sita is married eventually to the 12-year-old Rama. And after 12 years, after their marriage, when Rama had completed 24, his 25th year was beginning, is when Dasharatha goes and checks in front of the mirror, and as he combs, he sees one strand of if you take my head, thank God somebody married me. So my head is full of white hair. So what will I do? Dasharatha, after so many years, he has got one white hair, silver hair. Let's make it very precious. Silver hair. Who says this? Ramayanam says, Pandurasya tapatras chayayam jaritam maya. When he informs Rama that I want to make you the heir apparent, Rama was, Papa, you're fine. You're not on any meds. You're fine. Why? You do 10,000 steps every day. Why, Papa? So that is when he says, Pandurasyata patras chayayam. Pandu means white. That is why Dhritarashtra's younger brother was very fair. So he was called Pandu. Pandu means very fair. So Panduras chayayam. Oh my, you don't know, Ram. I was just combing my hair. Patra chayayam. Now I don't need an umbrella because my hair itself has become like a white umbrella. Pandurasyata patras chayayam. Then he said, Rama, you think I'm not on meds, but Jaritam Maya. Papa is getting old, beta. Papa is getting old. So Jaritam Maya. So Ramayanam says he had silver hair. Kalidasa says it differently. Kalidasa is a classy poet. He says, Tam karnamulamadhatya ramer shrir nyasyatamiti kaikeyi shankayevaha paritachadmanajara. Dasharatha was combing his hair with rollers and everything, and it was good. There was one silver hair in his side. Ramayanam says at the top, Raghuvamsham says at the side. As he combed, it curled by itself, coiled by itself, and it came very close to the ear, it seems. And the side leg came here. That why it seemed as if the white hair was speaking to the ear. Tam karnamulam agatya. Karnamulam means corner of this ear. Agatya, it came, that white hair came, silver hair came. It said, Rame Shri Nyasyatamiti, give this kingdom to Rama. So Kalidasa says, Dasharatha decided because the white hair said, Rame Shri Nyasyatamiti. Now Dasharatha thought, is it good to give? That is when in his eyes came Kaikeyi's face. Kaikeyi Shankayevaha. Oh, this lady is there. Therefore, I have to give it. My hair is right. Parita Chadmana Jara. So Ramayanam and Raghuvamsham confirms that he had silver hair. Now there will be a logical question. 60,000 years he didn't have. 24th year of Rama, how did he have? That is when Rama was 12 years of age, he said 60,000, right? One interpretation is 6 into 10 into 1000 is 60,000. Math. Okay. What is that? Math kangaroo. What is that? There is some contest. Math? Math count. Kangaroo. The kangaroo. In math we have units place 10, 100, 1000, 10,000. We have, right? So if units place is 1, tens place is 2, hundreds place is 3, thousands place is 4. 6 into 10 into 1000 is 6 into 2 into 4. Simple high level PhD. What is 10? 10 is 2 because units place is 1. Tens place will be 2, right? 1000 will be 4. So 6 into 10 into 1000 is 6 into 2 into 4. How much will it be? 48. So when Rama was 12 years of age, Dasharatha would have been 48. So when Rama was born, Dasharatha was 36. In those days, 36 was a late age for producing children. That is why we performed Putra Kameshti. This is another way to derive that 1000, because when we say Rama ruled for 13,000, 11,000 years, Dashavarsha Sahasrani, Dashavarsha Shatani cha, Dashavarsha Sahasram, 10 into 1000, plus 10 into 100, correct, 11,000. 10 into 1000, 1000 is how many places? 4. 10 into 4 is 40. Dashavarsha Sahasrani, Dashavarshi Shatani cha, 10 into 100, 100 is how much? 10 into 3 is 30. 40 plus 30, so Rama ruled for 70. This is how we have to derive, because Mimamsa Shastram says, Sahasra Samvatsaram Tadayusham Asambhavatu Manusheshu. Humans cannot live more than 100 plus years. This is what Mimamsa Shastram says. So we cannot suddenly say he lived for 1 crore years, he lived for 10 crore years, this man lived for 60,000 years, 60,000 years, no white hair. 60,000 24th year, 1 white hair comes. It won't fit. So, Yavadvito Pajana Saktaha Tavan Nija Parivaro Raktaha Pascha Jivati Jaya Jarade Vatam Popina Prichati Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Govindam. 5th verse. Ma Kuru Dhana Jana Yovana Garvam Harati Nidesha Kala Sarvam. Ma Kuru Dhana Jana Yovana Garvam Harati Nimesha Kala Sarvam Maya Maya Vidam Akhilam Hitva Maya Maya Vidam Akhilam Hitva Brahmapadam Tvam Pravisha Viditva Brahmapadam Tvam Pravisha Viditva Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Govindam. What is Ma? मेरे पास माँ है. माँ, माँ माने क्या है? Very good. No. See, in Hindi, we write Ma and there will be one Chandra Bindu. Ma. Ma is mother. This is Ma. Don't get confused between Ma and Ma. Ma in Sanskritam has 2 major interpretations. Ma means Mahalakshmi. Ma is Mahalakshmi. Dhava is Pati, husband. So Mahalakshmi's husband, Ma's Dhava is Madhava. Ma is Mahalakshmi. The other meaning for Ma is no. Ma means no. How do we know this Ma? There is one interesting verse that Vedanta Deshika uses in Daya Shadakam. Masaha sokti ghanakanchuka vanchitanyaha ghoram kulinga shakuneriva cheshtitam ne. There is believed to be one bird, I don't know what it is called in the binomial nomenclature. It is called Kulinga Pakshi. This Kulinga Pakshi, you see, all our acharyas were great ornithologists. They have observed how birds act. This bird was a very unique bird. It was completely non-vegetarian bird. Vegetarian and it will eat a strictly non-vegetarian bird. What will we expect? Like eagles and hawks, it will go attack its prey and eat. No. This had one unique taste for a different kind of meat. What meat? The lion has to go and hunt its prey. You all keep seeing Animal Planet, National Geographic, right? Even I have seen only that. So now the lion goes and attacks its prey. It eats. How much will it eat? It also has one stomach capacity. Now the dentist will not give good practices for the lion. You'll have to brush your teeth after you eat. So what will happen is the lion, after having sumptuous meat, raw meat, it will open its mouth to yawn, because as soon as you eat good food, what is the next thing you get? Sleep. For lion, it is no different. It will sleep. What is the first sign of sleeping or listening to discourses? Yawn. Ulagamunda oh pervaya. So you have to open your mouth. The lion will also open its mouth. Between its canine teeth, the pieces of the prey's meat will be found. This Kulinga Pakshi will eat only that meat. So when the lion opens its mouth, it will quickly go into its mouth, pick that piece of meat and get out and eat only that. Vedanta Deshika says that bird will eat only that meat. But what is so very hypocritical about this bird is, whenever we, suppose imagine I am the hunter, I have to go and hunt the lion. This bird would have the ability to tell me, oh, don't go, you're taking a lot of risk, mat jao. So this bird, Kulinga Pakshi, will advise others, don't risk. But when it has to consume flesh, it will quietly go into the yawning lion's mouth and take a piece of meat. So Vedanta Deshika says, Masaha sokti ghanakanchuka vanchitanyaha ghoram kulinga shakuneriva cheshtitam ne. Kulinga shakunaha means Kulinga bird. Cheshtitam means its bravery act. But what is it hypocritical of? It will tell us masahasam, no bravery. Ghanakanchuka vanchitanyaha. What it will end up doing is contrary to what it says. So he defines a hypocrite this way. Masaha sokti ghanakanchuka. There he uses the word ma, no. So ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam. Ma kuru dhana jana. We just got a palatial house. See, if you want somebody to stay, you can say, we have a place, come and stay. We have a palatial house. What will I do? They are not going to give that house to me. Naturally, it comes for humans to flaunt their wealth. We may not do it wantingly. It will come inadvertently. It will either come as wealth. Ma kuru dhana jana. You know, I have loads of people who can help me. I've been extremely good to the entire society. You won't know. I have so many friends around me who will give me moksha. Moksha na bolgo, I don't know. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana. Right. This is my small suggestion to all youngsters, boys and girls. Suggestion. I am nobody to advise. I am a very heena manushya. I can only suggest. If you want to choose a partner in your life, the man or the woman, you may have certain aspirations, which is normal for a human being. But don't give extreme importance to just looks. After having been in a civilization that talks about the perishable body and the eternal Jivatma, the irony is we are the civilization that gives matrimonial ads stating we want a good looking bride, good looking groom. What is good looking? If you say, oh, I want the boy to be with the eyes of the petals of a newly blossomed lotus, the nose of the sesame flower, the lips that ape the coral paste that is taken from the barrier reef of Australia, the neck that is as sharp as the conch that's fitted in the esophagus, and then the broad chest which is as hard as the diamond, which is the hardest substance ever known, with a slender waist and the nabhi that just smells like the lotus, then you have to marry only Narayana. He is the only one who will fit all these conditions. Nammatra patra suresho kottisho pavamada. Yeah, you have to see. Because one day this body will perish. Some people get prettier as they age. Some people would have looked prettier earlier. Because this body will perish. Do not flaunt your wealth. It will go. Do not flaunt about your friends. They may disappear. Do not flaunt about only physical beauty. That will just get burnt one day. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garvam harati nimesha kalan sarvam. It will just disappear in 1 minute. Why? This is where he gives the Advaita philosophy's postulate. He says Maya mayam idam akhilam. Because the world that you live in is Maya mayam. Maya is a word that occurs in some Upanishads and largely in Bhagavad Gita. Mayam tu prakritim vidhi, Mayinam tu maheshwaram, says Krishna. So there is a mention of Maya, Mayi. Since this is a composition of the Advaita philosophy school of Adi Shankara, the interpretation of Maya in Advaita is, it is a positive entity that envelops the true nature of the Atma, and it is Sadasad Vilakshanam. I am not getting into the core. There are 4 aspects: Sat, Asat, Sadasat. 4th is Sadasat Vilakshanam. It can neither be classified as existing. It can neither be classified as non-existing. It can neither be classified as existing and non-existing because it is different from what is existing and not existing. It is called Sad Asad Vilakshanam. I am telling you what Advaita states. This Maya envelops the Atma Jnana, and through Mahavakya Sambodhana, like Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, these kind of Mahavakyas, Ucharana, Anucharana from the Acharya, it is believed that the Ajnana will go away and Anubhuti will dawn. That time the Atma becomes a Jivan Mukta. I have just summarized Advaita in 2 lines. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. This is another way to classify. Ananda, many acharyas give, there are beautiful commentaries to Shankara Bhashya called Bhamati, Kalpataru. These are all commentaries. So, Acharya says, don't run behind relatives, don't run behind money, because what you live and where you live itself is Maya. It appears as though it is there. For the easiest example, there are very many examples that Acharya will give. One is a mirage. A mirage is called a Krishna, it's called Mriga Trishna. Have you heard of Mriga Trishna? Mriga Trishna is a mirage. So on a hot road, think now it's summer for you, right? So if you are driving through Arizona, on a hot road, no trees anywhere. In the afternoon, at a distance, from a distance, you can see as if there is some water body in front of you. And as you keep moving towards it, that will also come with you, but you will never touch it. It is appearing true to your eyes. But if it was true, you should attain it. You are not attaining it. So this Maya is like that. It is like a mirage. This is what Acharya gives. It's called Mriga Trishna. So Maya, Mayamidam, Akhilam, Hitva. When you get that knowledge, that everything is Maya, Brahmapadam Tvam Pravisha Viditva. That is moksham of attaining Brahmapadam. This is what Adi Shankara states. Now many people may have this doubt. First doubt they will think, a Sri Vaishnava is talking about Adi Shankara's Bhaja Govindam. First doubt. Right. Philosophy, Siddhantam, is a school. Advaita school. Visishtadvaita school. Dvaita school. That school will interpret Brahma Sutras, Gita, all of this in its own way. In a few places, each of the philosophers will agree with each other. In many places, they will differ in the interpretation. Every Atma in a material body, in Sanatana Dharma, is free to follow the school they like. This is not party adherence. If my family has voted red, it doesn't mean I have to vote red. I can vote blue. Many people who are born in different schools will be impressed by Adi Shankara's philosophy, so they will become or followers of Advaita. Many people who are born in different schools will be impressed by Ramanuja's Visishtadvaita, so they will follow Ramanuja's Visishtadvaita. See, this is not, you are not written and given, oh, my family will. It is n is equal to 1. Every person has the right to follow the philosophy that is relatable to them. But to relate to a philosophy, you should know all philosophies and then know this is the philosophy I like. So we, being the lazy people, we will follow the philosophy what our ancestors have followed. That's the easiest thing, right? Harry wanted to be in Gryffindor because his parents were in Gryffindor. But the sorting had said you had to be in Sarzar Slytherin. Correct? That is how it comes, right? So they have all, J.K. Rowling had one week of Kalakshepam in Bharatadesha and she wrote Harry Potter, from Harry the Potter. Right? She wrote Harry Potter. So, in my understanding, whatever I have learned from my acharyas, I follow the Visishta Advaita school of philosophy. But the beauty of Indian philosophy is when you learn one school, you have to equally learn the other schools in the prima facie, Purva Paksham. So in my learning of Ramanuja's philosophy, 1.5 years I had to spend learning Adi Shankara's philosophy. In Purva Paksham, it is called Maha Purva Paksham. So in Adi Shankara's philosophy, this is Maya. How does Ramanuja state? He says Maya is the Atyascharya Leela Cheshtita Shakti of Bhagavan. His ability to play with our minds is called Maya. So Shankara gives one interpretation, Ramanuja gives another interpretation. If I have to succinctly describe how they, see, both are Advaita. Remember, this is Advaita, that is Visishta Advaita. Both are Advaita. If people ask me, what are you? I have to tell them an Advaiti. But which Advaita? Whether Adi Shankara's Maya Visishta Advaita or Ramanuja's Guna Visishta Advaita, I have to say I am the latter. Your philosophy could be different, but respect for an Acharya should be the same. Even if I belong to Visishtadvaita schools of philosophy, my respect for Adi Shankara is no less. Because our adherence or non-adherence doesn't bring down their dignity. Please understand, just because I follow Ramanuja, it doesn't mean he is degree 1 and the other one is degree 2. They are all best among equals. But you cannot follow all schools of philosophy. See, you have to choose something that which is relatable to you. I have chosen Visishta Advaita. But that is why for me explaining Adi Shankara's philosophy is nowhere an antonym or something against my school, because I explain from Adi Shankara school's perspective. Ramanuja says so. Now if I have to finish this shloka, then I've got 5 more to go. I'll finish it off fast, so don't worry. See, we deal with, it may be a bit tough if you're not used to the general Vedanta paribhasha. These words will be tough. Jagrat Dasha, Turiya Dasha, Swapna Dasha. These are all words that we use for dream state, Jagrat, awakened state, and realized state. Now imagine I'm sleeping. I have a dream. I have a dream that there is an elephant with 10 trunks, red in color, is eating a snake. First of all, red elephant I have not seen. Elephant with 10 trunks I have not seen. Elephant eating meat I have not seen. It is pure vegetarian. So vegetarians can be strong. Elephant is the example. Right? So these 3 things. So I have a dream. But remember, see, you have to listen to this very carefully. When I have this improbable things stitched together in a dream, I will realize it is a dream only when I wake up. Till I wake up, the dream is my reality. Adi Shankara states, your reality is a dream. You have to understand the first statement to understand the second. What I have dreamt is seen as a dream only when I wake up to reality. Shankara says this reality is a dream. Ramanuja states even the dream is reality. How? Ramanuja says only when you stitch them together it is improbable. You are seeing a 10-trunked red elephant consuming meat. Then you are deriving and deciphering that an elephant cannot be red, it cannot have 10 trunks, it cannot eat meat. Are there meat-eating animals? Yes. Is there a number called 10? Yes. Is there an element called trunk? Yes. Is there a color called red? Yes. Is there an animal called elephant? Yes. There is an animal called elephant. There is a number called 10. There is an entity called trunk. There are meat-eating animals. And there is a color called red. All this is real. Only when you put together it is unreal. So, even the dream is treated as reality in Visishta Advaita school. In Shankara's Advaita school, even the reality is treated as dream. So he says, Maya mayamidam akhilam hitva brahmapadam tvam pravisha viditva. So, who is the example? Kaikeyi. This Kaikeyi is the biggest example for us. Why? Because she thought her beauty will lure Dasharatha. Yauvana Garbam. She thought she could acquire the wealth of Ayodhya and give it to Bharata, Dhana. She believed that the person with her, Manthara, was the best friend, Jana. Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garbam. But it went away in a minute. Harati nimesha kala sarvam. Because she acquired wealth for her son. Her son did not rule. She remained beautiful to lure Dasharatha. Dasharatha was dead. After brainwashing her, the one whom she relied on, Manthara, left Ayodhya. So, Ma Kuru Dhana Jana Yauvana Garvam, all of them went in a minute. Harati Nimesha Kala Sarvam. Why did this happen to her? Because she did not realize the reality called Rama. Maya Mayamidam Akhilam Hitva Brahma Padam Tvam Pravisha Viditva. 6th verse. Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Gita Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Gita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Gita Sakrida Piyena Murari Sakrida Piyena Murari Samacha Kriya क्रियते तस्य यमेन न चर्चा भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं. There is a prachina subhashitam Gita Ganga cha Gayatri Govinde cha Hridi sthite Chaturgadara samyukte punarjanma na vidyate. It's a subhashitam. Punarjanma na vidyate. Rebirth will not happen when Gita. Who is Gita? Gita. Who is Gita? Bhagavad Gita. Gita. Ganga. Who is Ganga? The river Ganga. Gayatri. When we do Sandhya Vandanam, she will come. Gayatri. Govindeti Hridi sthite. When the Nama Govinda is there. So there are 4 gas. Chatur Gagara. So 4 gas are important. What are those gas? The name called Govinda, the water of Ganga, the mantra of Gayatri, and the philosophical work called Bhagavad Gita. So these 4 works will not give us Punarjanma. What do we do? Every day we use this. Why? Whenever we do Aradhana, it is said we have to recite a verse of Bhagavad Gita. 1. When we do Trikala Sandhya Vandana or Dvikalam or Ekakalam also, you have to recite Gayatri. Technically, in every traditional house, there will be a small pot that carries Ganga water. Ganga Shumbu. Technically, you should not take waters of Kashi. When you have to store Ganga waters in the house, you should not collect waters from Kashi. That water should be taken to Rameshwaram. If you have to store Ganga water, you have to take it only in Prayagraj. That is the Paddhati. So you take that Ganga Shumbu and keep it. So traditionally it was believed that if somebody is on the deathbed, you will break open and add a few waters. Ganga waters alone can be stored for over 24 hours. So Ganga, Govinda, I'm sure the elders here will know. You must have noticed your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. When they do any traditional household work, when they rise also, they will not rise Krishna, Rama, Govinda. You know, Nama Sankirtanam was not done separately. When they used to stand up, Keshava, 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 Narayana, Narayana, they will sit. So even their, ouch, ow, this ouch, ow, wow, mwah, wow, ha, all this was replaced with Rama, Krishna, Govinda. So for them, they didn't have to keep going with that rosary beads in metro train. Because they were already doing Nama Sankirtanam. So that is Govinda. Gita, Ganga, cha Gayatri, cha Govinde, cha Hridi sthite. Out of the 4, all the 4 come in Ramayana. Sir, come again. Gita comes in Mahabharata, right? How did you say Gita comes in Ramayana? It comes in the Ramayanam because what does Krishna say? Karmanyaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayaha. Which chapter? They are all experts. If Krishna has doubt also, he will get it cleared from me. Karma yogo nama tritiyodhyayaha. When Krishna describes karma yoga, he says karmanyaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayaha. If a person has to adhere to karma yoga, hey Arjuna, learn from Janaka. Krishna, you don't seem to utter anybody's name, but why do you specifically talk about Janak? That is when Krishna says, he is my last avataram's father-in-law. Janak. That is why Sita will be happy. So karma yoga Janaka, karma yoga Sumitra. When Lakshmana goes and tells Sumitra, Mata, I am planning to go with my brother to the forest for 14 years. What's your opinion? Had I been in Sumitra's place, why are you going? Right? That is what I would have done. Let me be practical. Magane, Shendruva, Vendruva, அவன் ஏதோ அவன் தள்ளு எடுத்து போறான். நீ எதுக்கு முன்னாடி முன்னாடி முந்தி போட்ட உள்ளவா ಬಾರೋ ಒಳಗೆ ತಲಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವೇ ತಲಹಾರಕ್ಕೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬಾ. But you know what Sumitra said? Do not act as if you are an obedient son. By now you should have left. பின்னும் பகர்வாள் மகனே இவன் பின்செல் தம்பி என்னும் படியன்று அடியாரின் ஏவல் செய்தி மன்னும் நகர்க்கே அவன் வந்திடில் வா அன்றேல் முன்னம் முடியன பால்முலை சோரன் என்றாள். ராமம் தசரதம் வித்தி மாம் வித்தி ஜனகாத்மஜாம் Ayodhyam atavim vidhi gachata tayata sukham Lakshmana. At the end of the day, in the perishable body, you are the eternal Jivatma, and Jivatma Swarupam is to be subservient to Paramatma. Paramatma is Rama, you are the Jivatma, you have to do service to him, and this is the best opportunity for your Swarupa Siddham you have to do. This is your Karma Yoga. So if Krishna explained Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, the one who exemplified is Sumitra, Gita. What emerged from Rama's feet? Padukas. What emerged from Narayana's feet? Ganga. Who received Ganga? Shiva in his jata. Who received the Padukas? Bharata. What does Bharata have? Jata. Gita, Ganga. Gayatri. The entire Ramayana, while I described in Balaji Temple of Great Lakes between May 9th and 13th this year, on day 2, I spoke about Gayatri mantra, and I told how Gayatri is embedded in the Ramayana and how Rama recited Gayatri mantra, Paramam Japam, Gayatri. Govinda, you remember at about 7:20 when I told you the 4 interpretations of Govinda Nama. After Varaha Nama, I told you Rama gave away the cow, so he is called Govinda. So in the Ramayana, Govinda is Rama, Ganga is his Padukas, Gayatri is the mantra he recited. Gita is what Sumitra followed. Ge Bhagavad Gita Kinchit Adhita. Learn little Bhagavad Gita. Acharya knows that we will never learn it fully. See, prior to engineering, the first pre-engineering model was Bhagavad Gita. Why in engineering, you don't have to remember everything you have learned. As soon as you finish those courses assigned for that semester and give that exam, forget it. Go to the next semester. See, that is what semester is. You will not see Vedadhyanam is different. If you do Vedadhyanam for 8 years, you have to remember what all you have learned for 8 years. Whereas engineering is not like that. Right, in mahalakshmi Engineering College in Mudichur Road, near Kanchipuram, what you have to do is you have to somehow get admission there, finish the courses, give the semester exam. Every semester you give the exams, forget. Towards the end of 8 semesters, they will give you one certificate, but you won't remember anything. So in India, the pre-engineering pattern was Bhagavad Gita. Every year they will give one chapter. You will learn those verses. Go for the competition, deliver. Forget. Next year, go to the second chapter. So Adi Shankara knew our status. So he said, don't learn the entire work. Learn little. Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dhita. Learn little. How much Ganga waters should I drink? Ganga Jala Lava Kanika Pita. Little of Bhagavad Gita. Few drops of Ganga is enough. Sakrita Piyena. Sakrit in Sanskrit means once. Sakrita Piyena. At least once. Murari Samarcha. Think of Murari, Sriman Narayana once in your life. So once you have to think of Narayana. When I say, now don't quote Acharya anywhere. He doesn't say think only once. He says think perennially. Even if you think for once. Yeah, even if you, if we say whenever guests come, serve them food. But realizing the son or daughter's potential, the parents will say, at least once serve them. That at least once means begin with once and continue it many times. It is not at most one. See, in set theory there is a difference, right? It is not at most, it is at least. Greater than or equal to. There are many mathematics experts here. So he says Sakritapiyena Murari. He's making our life simple. Once think of Murari. Once drink a few waters of Ganga. Once recite a few verses of Bhagavad Gita. Then we will ask, well, I'll do. I will recite the verses of Gita. Maybe I will drink the waters of Ganga. And well, if I have time, I'll think of Murari. What should I do after that? What will I get in return? Kriyate, he says, tasya, to the one who does one of the three or all the three, yamenana charcha. When the Atma leaves your material body, Yamadutas will not come and take you. Vishnu Dutas will come and take you, like how they did for Ajamila. You don't have to end up arguing with Yamadutas, because Yamadutas will be having one rope called Pasham. Have you heard of Pasham? It's not Tamil Pasam. Yema, Anda Pasam. This is Pasham. Pasham means rope. That is why Muthuswami Dikshita says, Meenalochani Pashamochani Manini Kadamba Vanavasini Meena Kshime Mudam Dehi Me Chakani Raja Matangi. Pasha means a rope. So these Yamadutas, when they will look very, very frightening. I have not seen them. So I have not seen Yama. Yama's Dut. In India, there incidentally used to be a bike called Rajdut. I don't know if you've heard of it, Rajdut. So, if you drive Rajdut badly, Yamadut. So, Nana Papa T Raj in the meditation. So Yamadutas will come with the canine teeth and Pasham and say, you have not recited Murari's name once, you have not consumed the waters of Ganga, you have not recited the verses of Gita, come to Yamlok. Nahi, I don't like Yamlok, what should I do now? Waste. That is why Acharya says, when you're living itself, drink waters of Ganga, recite the name of Murari, learn the verses of Gita, then you don't have to do any charcha. You don't have to debate or argue with Yama. Kriyate tasya yamena charcha bhaja. That is why Periyalvar says in the Tamil Prabandham, he says, Naranantam annai naragam pugal. There is a boy called Narayana, some orbit boy. The boy's name is Narayana. His mother won't go to Yamaloka, it seems. People asked how. Because throughout her life she keeps uttering his name, right? Narayana! Oh. Narayana! So she keeps repeating, right? Whether she is in good mood or bad mood. She keeps uttering the word Narayana. Knowing the meaning or without knowing the meaning. Inadvertently or advertently, she keeps telling. So Alvar says, Naranan tam annai naragam pugal. So even the mother of the boy called Narayana will not go. What about the person who has recited the name Narayana? Bhagavad Gita Kinchit Adhita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Vita Sakrit Abhiyena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tatsya Yamena Nacharcha Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Suramandira Taru Mula Nivasaha Shaiya Bhutalam Ajinam Vasaha Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha Kasya Sukham Na Karoti Viraga Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Go. So we have used examples of Dasharatha, Kaikai, Sumitra in that order for this Lakshmana. See, Lakshmana was not ordained to go to the forest for 14 years. He could have just wished his brother, Bhaiya, I'll miss you loads. Just give me a hug. Come on, just give me a hug. And moi, and he could have sent. Easy, I would have done that. That's why I was not born then. நான் அண்ணா உன்னையே நினைச்சிட்டு இருப்பேன். எப்பெல்லாம் ஆத்துல அம்மா சுட்ட கத்திரிக்காய் பண்றாங்க, அண்ணா சாப்பிடுவரே அப்படின்னு நினைப்பேன். போயிட்டு வா. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா, சின்ன வயசுல முட்டாய் வாங்கலான்னு போனோம், நீ கையை பிடிச்சுட்டே. Lakshmana did not do anything. Bhaiya, come, let's start. Rama said, where are you coming? To the forest. Why are you coming? Bhaiya, Lakshmana, you won't get this beautiful bed. Like how you get here? Panchatulika Shayanam. What a bed you are blessed with in Ayodhya. You have to sleep on the floor that is infested with thorns and stones. ठीक है भैया. Shayya, bed. Bhutalam, earth is your bed. Is it okay? ठीक है भैया. You will not be living in these beautiful presidential suites that you are blessed with in Ayodhya. You will have to live in dilapidated buildings. You will have to stay in temple mandapams. You will have to sleep at the roots of the trees. ठीक है भैया. Sura Mandira Taru Moola Nivasaha. Will you sleep on the ground? Shayya Bhutalam. Lakshmana, you're wearing such a beautiful raw silk with Banarasi brocade. You will not get this work there. ठीक है भैया. Ajinam Vasaha. I will wear Valkalam and antelope skin. It's okay. I will sleep on the floor. I will stay in the temple mandapams. I will stay in the dilapidated buildings. I will stay near the roots of the trees. I will sport Valkalam. I will sport the antelope skin. Sura Mandira Taru Moola Nivasaha Shayya Bhutalam Ajinam Vasaha. See, I can tell you I am the only child to my parents. When in my generation, they had already decided to cut down the family size. Previous 2 generations, we had 6, 5, 10 children. By the time I was born, parents decided, Namiruvar, Namakuruvar. They read that Chennai auto line very seriously. Family planning. So, they planned their family and I was the only child. I remember, it is not that I was born in a family of 10, 4 brothers, 6 sisters. No, I was the only child. But I remember, I have fond memories where I would go to my grandparents' place and sleep on the floor. There used to be a mat. There is one place near Tirunelveli. It's called Pattamadai. And that Pattamadai is famous for a beautiful mat called Poi. Pattamadai Poi. It's a recognized mat. So we used to put that mat and there used to be one TV in the house for all members. Now every member wants one TV. இருக்கிறதே 2 பேர்னா அவர் இந்த மாமி பார்க்கறத அவர் பார்க்க மாட்டாங்க. So if it's the wives of the Beverly Hills, she's watching. He will watch some thriller series. எல்லாம் செத்து போற மாதிரி ஒன்று பார்ப்பாங்க. Squid Game second எல்லாரும் செத்து போயிடுவாங்க. So everybody wants one TV. Everybody wants one bathroom. Traditional houses, 15 people in the same bathroom. Now each one wants one bathroom. They lock that bathroom also. The other person should not use it. So I have seen the generational shift. I have slept on the floor. But if you now ask me to sleep on the floor, well, I'll just try. How many of us sleep on the floor? No. Lakshmana, he volunteered to sleep because he thought it was Rama Kainkaryam. Sura Mandira Taru Moola Nivasaha Shayya Bhutalam Ajinam Vasaha Sarva Parigraha Bhogatyagaha Kasya Sukham Na Karoti Viragam. Viragam means detachment. The moment we start being very specific, can you just get me a good cappuccino with that froth at the top and some cinnamon powder? Yeah, I'm very specific. I'm really good. Then he says viraga will never come. As long as we are very specific. எனக்கு அந்த ரெட்டை பேர்ட் இருக்கு பாருங்க, அதில் அந்த மவுண்டன் போட்டுக்கணும். ரெட்டை பேர்ட் இல்லாமல் ருத்ராட்சம் பார்டராக இருக்கணும், நடுவில் ஒரு பட்டை இருக்கக்கூடாது. Then where will you get moksha? You are only in ரெட்டை பேர்ட். சுரமந்திர தருமூல நிவாசஹ शय्याभूतलम् अजिनं वासः सर्वपरिग्रह भोगत्यागः. If you offer prasadam to Bhagavan in your house, later you should eat that as prasadam. ஏதோ முன்னாலாம் நன்னா பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன், கொஞ்சம் சுமாராயிட்டோ, கொஞ்சம் உப்பு குறைச்சி, இவருக்கும் ஞானம் குறைச்சல். என்ன பண்றாங்க? சாத்தமதுல உப்பு குறைச்சல்னா மாமாக்கு ஞானம் குறைச்சல். சர்வ பரிகிரஹ போக தியாகஹ. Great people will have so many thoughts, they will not even realize whether the food has salt or not. Only if your concentration is about food, you will be concentrated. இப்படி இருக்கணும், இப்படி சாப்பிட்டுனா இப்படிதான் அவ பண்ணாடி என்னது நன்னாவே புளி தண்ணியை கரைச்சு கொடுத்துக்கலாம். இதுக்கு எங்க மோட்சம் போகும்? கஸ்ய சுகம் ந கரோதி விராகः. கஸ்ய சுகம் ந கரோதி. How will you acquire happiness when you don't have detachment? When your life is full of attachments, then where will you get sukham? Because the more you are attached, you will get only dukkham. The only way to sukham is detachment. Kasya sukham na karoti viraga. This viraga becomes a quality called vairagyam. Why? See, what do we do? See, life is so simple to explain. I've mentioned this in many of my lectures. People who have heard my lectures will know it. I'm talking from the Bharata Desham's perspective. I'm sure you can ape it with some few changes to suit this country. As soon as we are born, we are introduced. Mother will keep telling, I am your mother. Amman chullu, amman chullu. Yari yari chullu porame bayo. Inni chullu, amman chodadu paathena. Sadharanama chullu. Amma paathena. She is actually telling Amma. Can you see that? Yeah, we see that. Then அப்பாக்கு அதை விட டவுட், யாரையும் பார்த்துக்கூடாது, என்னன்னா அப்பா. So அப்பா and Amma will first get introduced. Then if the grandparents have managed to survive till then, they will also be equally happy. Then comes the kindergarten admission in Bharata Desha. We have 150 crore Bharatiyas, 4.75 times the population of the US. So the competition to get into that is very high. So parents have to go through that entrance exam. Then the child gets admission to kindergarten to learn what? Karupadu, black sheep. Baba, Baba. Baba, black sheep. It has one big property called the wool. In its will, it has distributed into 3. That the child has to learn like Rigvedam, Baba, black sheep, Baba, black sheep, Baba, black sheep, have you any wool? So every time a guest comes, the parents get extremely elated. Say Baba black sheep to uncle. Anna mama வந்து நம்ம அப்படி இருக்கோமான்னு யோசிப்பார். Black sheep மாதிரி இருக்கும். Baba black sheep. He's extremely good, right? I know he's really good. Baba black sheep. So then, first to 5th standard in Bharata Desha is that primary school. Tests will begin. You have to learn, all these math, science, and shoot system, root system, all this. Then 6th, 7th, 8th, we have to study about one Acharya Parampara, Babar, Humayun, Vyasam Vasishtha Naktaram Mari, Humayun, அவருக்கு ஒரு ஆச்சாரமா ஒரு பிள்ளை, Jahangir, Shah Jahan would have married one lady called Mumtaz. அது 14வது குழந்தை பெற்று போயிடுச்சு. He would have built one Taj Mahal that will come in a tea also. Tea level Taj Mahal. Then you will learn. Then they had one great Bhagavatottama called Aurangzeb. And we have to by heart the dates. In 1657, in 1121, Iltutmish constructed the Qutub Minar. It was constructed by Qutbuddin Ayyub, completed by Iltutmish. Then we will come. Have you heard? Have you learned all this? Then there will be another Uttama called Alauddin Khilji. He bought one general for 1,000 dinars called Hazard Dinari called Malik Kafur. Then by the time he finished came Ullu Khan called Muhammad bin Tughlaq in 1321. Then after that 1336 Madurai Sultanate was established by Sayyid Jalaluddin Hasan Khan. Then we have to deal with Tughlaqs. Then came Lodhis, Ibrahim Lodhi and all will come. Then come the Mughals. Then will come the Britishers, Robert Clive, Mountbatten, Dutch, Portuguese. You have to by heart to just learn, because history is always in Bharat about how many pages you write there. So there will be a main sheet. I don't know if you remember main sheet. There will be one sheet called additional sheet. You have to keep on writing, and then you have to tie those papers together. All this you have to learn. Then 6th, 7th, 8th is over. Then 9th, 10th, parents will be very worried. You have to study. Then the child would have flunked in maths, but the parents will want him to become an engineer. So then he will study. Then you have to put him to various coaching classes. Then 11th, 12th is over. Then if the marks are not great, then you have to put him in some Mudichu room. Engineering college, and the engineering college, then you might have studied some mechanical engineering, but you will be doing Python coding. Workshop practice. Then after, towards 2 years later, the boy will realize, no, I have to do my CFA. So left mechanical, left Python. Now you have to go to CFA. 3 levels you have to clear, get the charter. Then later you will realize that Kalidasa and Shakespeare had a lot in common, and you do a PhD in comparative religion. Then by the time you realize you have done so much, you would have been married. And inadvertently you would have produced one child. The same Baba Black Sheep you have to repeat. Same thing. Then by the time you realize this, you will have grandchildren. Then the Atma will leave the body. It will enter the womb of another mother whose Seemantonayanam in the 8th month is happening in the next street in Bazulla Road, T Nagar. You are born there. You have to repeat the same thing. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Handful of people will realize that this is a vicious circle. Handful of people. Those of them who realize that this birth and death is a vicious circle will want to get rid of that cycle. Such handful of people, iha samsare bahudustare, iha samsare bahudustare, that handful will do Sharanagati to Narayana. Kripaya pare pahi murare, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja. Maricha at the age of 12 of Rama was driven. He became a sannyasi called Marichananda. When Ravana came and said, go as a gem-studded golden deer, he refused. When Ravana insisted, you know what Maricha said? I will die at the hands of Rama today, like how you will die tomorrow. He had dharmic jnana. Kabandha, when he was killed towards the end in Aranya Kandam, he says, Rama, I realized your potential. Vali, towards the end of his life. He says, Avipon Melaivai Arivutanda Arulinai Rama, you have finally enlightened me and dawned, there is wisdom that's dawned in me while I am about to leave. So they all realize the potential. Iha samsare bahudostare kripaya pare pahi murare geyam gita nama sahasram dhyeyam shripati rupa majasram neyam sajjana sange chittam deyam dina janaya chalitam. Geyam Gita. Again Adi Shankara is back to that. Geyam Gita. What Gita? He doesn't qualify it. See, there are so many Gitas in this world. But if somebody says, you went for Gita chanting, no normal Sanatani will ask which Gita. Gita means Bhagavad Gita. Nama Sahasram, 1,000 names. What 1,000 names? Why? How? He has not mentioned Vishnu here. He has just said Nama Sahasram because Sahasranamam means Vishnu Sahasranamam. In any traditional household, you go and ask Sahasranamam Juliachana, Yenda Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranamam is the panacea. That is why Shankara has commented on both Gita and Vishnu Sahasranamam. Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram. Through that, what do we realize? Because in Gita he says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatmasu Durlabaha. The one who realizes that Vasudeva is everything, Arjuna, is very rare to find. Samahatma Sudurlabaha. It is very rare to find. So that Vasudeva is Dhyeyam. How is he qualified? With Mahalakshmi. Brahmachari Narayana has zero value. Only if he is with Mahalakshmi, he has value. Shripati, Dhyeyam Shripati, Rupa Majasram. What should I do for that? Adi Shankara gives a simple way, relatable thing. Neyam Sajjana. With good people who think of Bhagavan, you should always have friendship. When we have coffee table discussions in the house, we should elevate it to the next level. Yesterday I read in the Ramayana book, isn't this a nice point? You know, imagine our family households having such intellectual discussions. We should elevate. Coffee table discussions should be even when it's pouring outside, there's a thunderstorm, you're making some nice pakodas and you're having a nice sip of kadak chai. Discuss Gita. Your conversations should be very intellectual. For that, the family should get elevated. If one person in the family is alone elevated, then there is no use. He's always talking about Gita. Gita, कौन है वो Gita इसके life में? पता नहीं है वो कौन Gita है. कुछ तो detective agency को डालना है. Because you should elevate yourself along with your family. नेयम सज्जन संगे चित्तम देयम दीनज. Then, when you go on yatras, wherever, whenever possible, do charity. Deyam dina janaya chavitam Bhaja Govindam. Okay, sir, all this is fine. Who's the example in the Ramayana? Two examples. One was Lakshmana. He lived the life of Bhagavad Gita because his mother Sumitra lived it. What was the result of it? Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram. What is the saram of Nama? Sahasranama? Ramanamam is the saram of Sahasranama. Geyam Gita, son of Sumitra, who lived Gita's life. Nama Sahasram, the saram of Sahasranamam is Ramanama, he lived with Rama. Dhyeyam Shripati, he didn't serve only Rama, he served Rama with Sita. Shripati Rupa Majasram. Neyam Sajjana Sange Chittam. He moved with similar devotees like Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan. What was the result of it? Deyam Dinaja Nayacha Vittam. He was asked to coronate Vibhishana. Rama did not coronate. He said, Lakshmana, you go and coronate on my behalf. That is the greatest charity he did. So, Deyam Dinaja Nayacha Vittam. All this is acquirable when when we seek refuge in our Guru. Guru Charana Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Samsarat Tachirat Bhavamuktaha Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam Drakshyasi Nija Hridayastham Devam Drakshyasi Nija Hridayastham Devam Bhaja Govindam. See, what is this original composition? This composition's original name. Later it is called Govinda is Varaha, Rama, Krishna. You know, Govinda was also the name of Shankara's guru. What was his name? Govinda Pada. So he would have also given the name Bhaja Govindam because it is a tribute to both Govinda Narayana and Govinda Pada, his guru. Bhaja Govindam. Various acharyas have adorned Bharatadesha. You just can't count. Tyagaraja lost count. Parama Bhagavata Mauni Varasa Shivivakara Sanaka Sanandana Digisha Surakim Purusha Kanaka Kashipusuta Narada Tumburu Pavana Sunu Bala Chandra Dhara Shuka Saroja Bavabu Suravarulu Parama Pavanulu Ghanulu Shashvatulu Kamala Bhavasukamu Sadanu Bhavamugaka Yendaroma Hanubhavulu Parama Bhagavata Mauni Vara Shashi Vibhakara Sanaka Sanandana Digisha Sura Kimpurusha Kanaka Kashipusuta Narada Tumburu Pavanasunu Balachandradhara Shuka Saroja Bhava Bhusuravarulu. 16 names he mentions. Paramapavanulu Ghanulu Shashvatulu Kamala Bhava Sukhamu Sadanu Bhavamugakayanda Manu Bhavulu. Many acharyas, Adi Shankara. As per the Sringeri records, between the 788 and 820, he was born this great Acharya Varya. 32 years. What did he do in 32? We have to think. 32, he wrote the Prasthana Trayabhashyam, Viveka Chudamani, Stotra Granthas, established Mathas. That's all. 32 he was done. 32 we are clueless what to do. Why? Because certain people have the divine aspect in them since birth. Else you cannot achieve all this. So Adi Shankara, Guru Charanambuja, every legend that is associated with Shankara will have some divinity. Pouring of Kanakadhara. When he had to release his mothers from the pain, he wrote one beautiful work called Matrika Panchakam Astam Tavadiyam Prasuti Samaye Durvara Shulavyatha Nairuchyam Tanushoshanam Malamayi Shayyaja Samvatsari. When he had to realize the potential of Shakti in Jagannatha, he wrote Saundarya Lahari. One set of scholars agree that he wrote all these works. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yadi Bhavati Shaktaha Prabhavitum Nachedevam Devo Nakhalu Kushalaha Spanditum Api Ataswam Aradhyam Hari Hara Virinchari Bhirapi Pranantum Stotumba Katham Akrita Punya Prabhavati Taniyam Sampamsum Tavacharana Pankeruha Bhavam. So he goes on to Himani Hantavyam Himagiri Nivasaika Chaturau Nishayam Nidranam Nishicharam Bhagye Cha Vishadau Varam Lakshmi Patram, and finally concludes that whatever I wrote is because of you. Pradeepa Jwala Bhir Divasakara Nirajana Vidhi Sudhasutes Chandro Phala Jalala Vairagnya Rachana Swakiyairam Bhobhir Salilanidhi Sauhitya Karanam Tvadiya Bhirvagbhir Jananivacham Stutiriyam. He wrote one on Shiva called the Shivananda Lahari. So he has written so many stotras, bhashyas. That is because he had devotion to his Guru. Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha. Bhagavad Ramanuja, who lived 1000+ years back, what a person of humility. His life is full of legends that talk about his Guru Bhakti. His Guru Bhakti to so many acharyas, because Ramanuja had Panchacharya Padashraya, Shri Mahapurna, Shri Shaila Purna, Tirumalayandan. So many acharyas he had. Tirukkachi Nambigal, Kanchi Purna. You look at another acharya called Vedanta Deshika. Generally, in all my lectures, I declare openly, he is my hero. 101 years he lived. What a legend he was. Nana Siddhanta Niti Shrama Vimaladhiyaha Ananta Suryestanujaha. He talks about his father, Acharya Vihadaivatam Samadhikam Dhanyannamanyamahe. He talks about the Lakshanam of an Acharya. Siddham Satsampradaya Sthiradhiyam Anagham Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Satvastham Satyavacham Samaya Niyataya Sadhuritya Sametam Dambasuyadi Muktam Nija Vishaiganam Dirgabandum Dayalum Skalitye Shasitaram Basati Itaparam Deshikam Bhupsuritse. This shloka of Vedanta Deshika describing the characteristics of a good guru was quoted by Sannidhanam Vidushekara Bharati Swami in one of the lectures, Anugraha Bhashana. That was Vedanta Deshika. We have two great acharyas, Ubhay Gurus now. Prior to them, we had acharyas in Sringeri Matha. One of the acharyas, while he was seated, one person was delivering Bhagavata Upanyasa. I'm talking 60 years back, 60, 70 years back. While it was an important ghattam in Srimad Bhagavatam, the acharya stopped and asked, because the person was telling that Rukmini and Krishna were seated in the chariot and the chariot went forward. The acharya stopped, asked him to stop and asked. He asked him, what were the names of the horses? Krishna drove the chariot, you are saying. What were the names? The Upanyasaka like me did not know. He said, Swami, I don't know. Then Acharya said, Shaibhya, Sugriva, Megha Pushpa, Balahaka. These were the names of Krishna's horses. Then the Upanyasaka said, the Pravachanakatta said, how will we know the names of the horses? The Acharya said, you are right, you don't have to remember the names of the horses if it was yours or mine. If it is Krishna's horses, you have to remember the names. Why? Because the trait of a guru is Khalitye Shasitaram. A good guru will always correct his students. Only if you are commercially looking at students, you will never correct. Whatever they do, this is also fine. This is absolutely ethical. Yeah, to each his own. All these work statements will come only from a guru who will do the commercial. Your true guru will always correct. Whether the student likes it or not, the teacher has to correct. Skalitye Shasitaram. The Ubhaya Gurus. I have been to Sringeri a few times. I've had darshanam of the Sannidhanam, Vidushekara Bharati Swami. I've had a conversation with the Acharya 2 years back when I was called to Sringeri to deliver a talk to the teachers of various institutions. All teachers were combined and I had to deliver. Then I had darshanam of Sannidhanam and I spoke. See, what a combination of gurus. Mahasannidhanam is called Bharati Tirtha. The Sannidhanam is called Vidhushekara Bharati. So, Bharati Tirtha Vidhushekara Bharati. It is one cycle. You start with Bharati and end with Bharati. Bharati in Sanskritam means Bhasha. Spoken language is called Bharati. That is why there is an organization. What is it called? Samskrita Bharati. Samskrita as a language is Bharati. Bharati in proper noun also means Saraswati. Saraswati, the repository of knowledge, is Bharati. In Shrindagiri, Sharada, who is Saraswati, has a crown with the crescent moon. If you have noticed, I think they are also crescent moon. You know what is moon called? Vidhu. There are 20 names for the moon in Amarakosha by Amarasingha. Sudhanshu, Chandranshu, Chandra, Nakshatradhipa, these are all Dvijadipa, these are all names for moon. One name is Vidhu, not Vidhu, Vidhu. Vidhu means moon. So if the Mahasannidhanam is Sharada, Saraswati, Sannidhanam is the moon, Vidhu. Right? So that is the combination. You must have heard, I sang Meenakshi Memudam, right? Vidhu Vidambana Vadane Vijaye vadana dasha gamaka kriye madhumura modita hrudaye sadaye mahadeva sundaresha priye madhumurari pusodari shatodari vidhi guru guhava shankari shankari meenakshi vidhu vidambana vadane. You should relish literature. Mudduswami Dikshita looks at the face of Meenakshi. Then he looks at the moon. Generally we compare the lady with the moon, right? Neela malarnda iravinil tendral Neela, wherever Neela deva Suryane vanpadvaru Neela vellai, wherever you go it will be Neela. So moon. So he looked at Meenakshi's face and moon. Both looked similar. And then he looked, Muthuswami Dikshita looked at the moon and said, "Oh moon, you feel so shy looking at her face because she's so pretty, without a blemish. So Meenakshi's face will mock at the moon. Vidhu, vidambana vadane." The one who has got a face, Vidhu, means Chandra. So Shiva is called Chandra Shekhara. Replace the word Chandra with Vidhu. So it becomes Vidhu Shekhara. So Shekhara means in the crown. Crown of whom? Bharati. So Mahasannidhanam is Bharati. In his crown is Vidhu. So Vidhu Shekhara. So Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhataha. Every Acharya, be it Adi Shankara, Govindapada, Gaudapada, Bhagavad Ramanuja, Vedanta Deshika, Ubhaya Acharyas of Sringeri. I am also extremely fond of Paramacharya of Srikanchi. So he has been of great influence in my life. So Paramacharya's words keep on lingering in my ears. Guru Charanambuja Nirbhara Bhataha Samsarat Tajirat Bhavamuktaha Sendriya Manasa Niyamadevam Drakshasi Nija Hridayastham Devam. That Acharya, that Guru's lotus feet, that Guru's feet that is akin to lotus should be seated within my heart. That Guru who shows me Bhagavan. There is a Prachina Doha. Guru Gobind dono kade khake pav lagaye balihari Guru aapne Gobind diyo bataye. Have you heard of this? There is a Prachina Doha. The Dohakara says, if two people were in front of you, Guru, Gobind, both Guru and Bhagavan, Gobind dono khade, kake pav lagaye, whom will you prostrate first? Balihari Guru aapne. I will fall only to the feet of Guru. Why? Gobind diyo bataye. He is the one who told me who Govinda is. Guru Gobind dono kade kake pav lagaye, balihari Guru aapne, Gobind diyo bataye, Guru Charanambuja. In the Ramayana, I told you, everything has to be relatable to the Ramayana. Rama enters Maharashtra, stays there in the search of Sita. When he goes to Matanga Rishi's ashrama. There is one old lady, Chirajivini, Chiravasini, called Shabari. What is her name? What is her name? Shabari is not her name. Shabari means Shabarajatyam Shabari. She was born in the community of hunters, so she was called Shabari. Huntress cannot be her name, right? We don't know what is her name. So Rama did not even inquire. Pehle kaun hai batao, intro de do. Kaun hai tu? He didn't ask. He just went because he saw only her devotion. Even she did not know what her original name was. So he went inside. She had collected some fruits and presented to him. He asked, why ये सब कष्ट उतारने की क्या जरूरत है? बताओ. That is when she said, my Guru Matanga Rishi told me that in a few days Rama will come to honor my Guru's words and giving these fruits to you. I am not giving, my Guru told give. Acha. And Rama consumed those fruits. Remember, he showed a discrimination. In Ayodhya Kandam, when Guha gave, he didn't consume. Immediately in Tamil Nadu, they say, Parthirgada. Veduvan கொடுத்ததை ராமன் உண்ணவில்லை, உயர் சாதி என்று கண்டித்து விட்டார். இதைத்தான் நாங்கள் எதிர்க்கிறோம். That is when Valmiki said, ठहरो भाई, थोड़ा संभल के ले लो ना, अभी तो अयोध्या कांड हुआ है, आरण्या कांड में शबरी के दिए हुए फल तो खा रहे हैं. शबरी कौन सी जाति की थी? So Rama did not consume or not consume based on their birth. Guha did not have Acharya Sambandham. Shabari had Matanga Rishi Acharya Sambandham. Bhagavan accepts only if you have Acharya Sambandham. Who says? Manavada Mamunigal states, Guru Sushrushayile Padittu Jnanadikayai Tannavukkinidayirunda Phalamooladikalaiyellam Inguttai Kendru, says Manavada Mamuni. So she had Acharya Sambandham. Acharya Sambandham means you don't have to worry. Nirbhara Bhaktaha. Guru Charana Bhuja Nirbhara Bhaktaha Samsarat Tachirat Bhavamuktaha Sedriya Manasa Niyamadevam Drakshyasi Nija Hridayastham Devam Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate Samprapte Sannihite Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukrin Karane Bhaja Govindam. Amongst the various think tanks, gurus that Bharatadesham has produced, one such great Mahan who fought for various causes for the Dharma was Pujya Sri Dayananda Saraswati Swami. He, in his long-term vision, wanting to serve the Samudaya bereft of any disparity, without any discrimination, in his grace was set up aim for Seva. I am extremely proud because I have played a small role. There is a production called Agre Pashyami. These are the two magical words of the 100th Dashakam of Narayana Bhattatri. He saw Krishna. He saw Guruvayurappa. So the quintessence of Narayaniyam is being presented in a beautiful dance production. I am using the word beautiful very consciously, wholeheartedly, with absolute garvam, because I have done many productions through various. This is one of the most beautiful productions. We have done it with Anita Guha, Rajkumar Bharati and Sai Shravanam. It was showcased in Chennai in various locations. Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Bombay, Pune, Delhi, Manjakudi. 21 times, 12 cities in the US it was showcased last year. This year, 12 cities it is coming. In that, Agre Pashyami as a donor appreciation event is coming on the 25th of October, Saturday at 4 p.m. Of course, though they open it for all, they seek your help in doing dharmic activities as donors. So it is coming on. It's coming at Ford Community and Performing Arts Center, Michigan Avenue. So it is coming there. It is going to other cities as well. Ask your relatives to kindly visit. Tell them it will go only for 2 hours, unlike this 2 hours 51 minutes. See, today I came with the hope that I'll finish it off in 2 hours. But trust me, when you take a topic like this, I don't have a prepared script as such. So it will go on and on. This is like Sampurna Ramayanam of 1961. When Shivaji and N.T. Ramarao acted, it was close to 3 hours. So you have sat without going anywhere for 2 hours and 51 minutes. So you have to clap for your own self. Clap. Why? It made us stagnant because of Acharya's Shri Sukti, which is Bhaja Govindam. Tomorrow and the day after, unlike Kanakadhara or Bhaja Govindam, will be narrative in approach. I just love her. Her name is Draupadi. What a character Vyasa has given us. A very daring, strong character. But what holds her high is her love for Krishna. So that we will be seeing tomorrow. So I assure you, take it in writing. I'll start at 7, finish it off at 9:10. 2 hours, 10 minutes. Aadi talludi. So 10 minutes extra. The day after tomorrow is learnings of Bhagavad Gita. That is the tricky thing, because Bhagavad Gita 700 verses. First he confused Arjuna. He confused me. I will confuse you. So that will happen the day after tomorrow. As mentioned, those of you who have already bought the books and gotten it signed, thank you. Those of you who have not bought the books may buy. Those of you who are planning to hold a grand gulu and have not planned a return gift, buy the book. So do that, and please be a part of your donations to this beautiful SVBF. They are out of sheer magnanimity, they are keeping it as a free event for all. That shows the dharmic cause that they are serving. But please fill the donation boxes with your whatever yatha shakti you have for the dharmic activities they do. Kavita Arkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Janaki Kanta Smaranam Gopika Jeevana Smaranam